We live.
Most High in Christ. If you could, Malakma, I got you here. Can you, if you could, so kindly, do the introduction in Spanish, Baba Kusha?
Sir. Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh Shai, les bendiga. Sir.
Can you hear me?
Aquí. A los carnales.
It may be a reverb.
It might be on. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Hold
on. I got you. I don't want. There we go. Reverb's gone. Should be gone now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, we good. We good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, solid. All right. Go ahead if you could do the introduction in Spanish, Baba Kusha.
Shalom Israel. Somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, debajo del comando de nuestra general Yahanna. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh Shai, les bendigan a los carnales, y Yahweh cuiden sobre ustedes, en el nombre de Yahweh Shai, las mujeres. Soy oficial de 1000 Malakma, y aquí estoy con oficial de 500, oficial sacerdote de 5000, oficial Tabawan. Y vamos. Oh, sir.
You got it. You got it.
Y la tema que vamos a tocar esta noche es hablar del libro de Revelaciones, capítulos 17 y 18. Pero aquí le voy a pasar la clase a oficial Tabawan.
Most High Christ. Most High Christ, man. Appreciate it, man. Get a brother hand. If you could type 1W in the comments to let us know that you can both hear and see us clearly. Type 1W in the chat if you can hear us and see us clearly. We'll wait for that. Let the class fill in. Most High in Christ. General Mahayaman will be in shortly. Before we go, of course, into the topic, first and foremost, we are the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General Yahanna, started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we are covering today the book of Revelation, the chapters of 17 and 18 specifically. We've covered over the last, I was looking at some of the videos, Malakma. Matter of fact, let me check when we started this. Let me see. I got a playlist created on the Hollywood Israelites. We started this in 2020. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if it's going to give me the exact day. March 2nd, 2023. So that was the first installment. Revelation chapter 1 was in 2023. These things take time to go into. I appreciate everyone's patience towards this series. Revelation chapter 1 all the way to now, Lord allow, closing on chapter 18 is, going to be nothing short of amazing. The water to the Most High by Hashem Yahweh Shai for General Mahayaman gracing us with his presence once again to give us the understanding of Revelation. Because Malakma, for me, I know a while ago, like when I first came into the truth, a short time ago, rather, the book of Revelation intimidated me. I always speak about that. It intimidated me to the point where I was like, I'm gonna just leave that alone. I'm gonna just leave it alone.
Right.
You understand? But then, as the Lord allowed His Holy Spirit, like you have, you know, in my mind more and more, and I started to see the courage of brothers in the school, beginning with Commander Journey Yahanna on down. It encouraged me to want to face things that, quote unquote, intimidated me. So the book of Revelation was one of those things that and even in the world, like most people, you don't know what it's talking about. You don't know what it's talking about. And coming into the school, being able to ask questions and, you know, get answers to my questions, you know, has been a gift from the Most High, brother. You understand? So from Revelation 1, you know, we covered, you know, from 1 to 16. General Mahayaman has been on here a few times. I had Captain Gadalhar on here. I had yourself. I had Karatazar. I had prison officer Yakawan. We used to go to the school and do it. You know, we've covered from in chapter 1 alone is heavy. Not only are you learning about the color of Christ, you learn about the 7 schools of Asia Minor that Paul established. In chapter 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I mean, we could go on all day. We go on all day. But I want to let the people know viewing, if you haven't caught any of the installments, I strongly recommend that you go to the Hollywood Israelites YouTube page, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and go to the playlist. And in one of the playlists, I don't know if you could show this, Malakma. I don't know if you could show this. If you go to playlist on the Hollywood Israelites YouTube page, and you'll see a playlist called The Book of Revelation. Let's see if we can see that really quick. There it is. Playlist, Book of Revelation, and you can pause it. Boom. If you look to the right, all of them are there up until this point. Like we will put this lesson in that playlist so they're accessible easily. You understand? I mean, we've covered every chapter, every verse up until this point. And we can I'm looking to really, you know, if the Lord allow, finish this up real soon. So I do want to say the water again to everybody that's been supporting the series. If you have any questions throughout the duration of this video, feel free to type them in, and we will get them to the General Mahayaman, 12 Shield General Mahayaman, you know, as soon as we can. Revelation chapter 17, Revelation chapter 18 is going to be a good one. And I just want to read something really quick. If you could, Malakma, if you could pull up Habakkuk 2. Let me see. Habakkuk 2. I want to say 13. I could be way off. No, Habakkuk 2 and 2. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And for those of you who don't know, outside of the truth, you know, the I.S.U.P.K are the only ones with the authority from the Most High in Christ to tell you what means what. If Commander Yahanna is telling you it means one thing and someone else is telling you it means something else, that someone else is wrong. Everything General Mahayaman is about to teach is absolutely of God. It's absolutely of God, and your local pastor is incorrect. They tried to say that. I remember one fake Israelite group. They used to say, they don't exist anymore, but they used to say that the mark of the beast, is a microchip.
Right.
They said that Obama in the year 2023, by March 1st, everyone was going to have to get microchip, and that didn't happen.
Right.
You know, what happened to, when are we supposed to be getting this microchip? You know, that's not what it's talking about.
Right, sir.
You see what I'm saying? You want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to. Today, not too long ago, they were saying the COVID vaccine was the mark of the beast.
Oh
and
my!
that's how they were gonna put the microchip in you.
You can't let these conspiracy theorists get a hold of the book Revelation.
Right.
You can't let them do it because they're lunatics. They're lunatics. Right. They'll try to make everything literal, where everything in the book of Revelation is not literal. There has been no 7-headed, 10-horned creature come out of the Atlantic Ocean or the Pagan Sea. It's not going to happen. Right. But they don't know that they don't have the Spirit of the Lord or the Holy Spirit to be able to discern what means what. Only Commanding General Yahanna was given that from the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand? So, where's we at?
Habakkuk 2 and 2, sir.
Okay, if you could, Baba Kashai.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. Mm-hmm. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right. Habakkuk, as a man of the Lord, like all men of the Lord, we could go down a little bit. Yeah, I want to go to 3 as well. If you could, Baba Kashai. There you go. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3, this is the point. For the vision or the prophecies are yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Right? People in their mind, when they talk about the Bible and the prophecies of the Bible, oh man, you know, y'all been saying Christ coming back for years, man. Y'all said the year 2000 was, you know, everything was going to happen. The Bible says that at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Yeah, though we have to wait for it, though we have to wait for the return of Christ, wait for World War III, wait for the things that are going to usher in, so to speak, the return of Christ, wait for it. Because at the end, it will speak, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. You understand? These things are going to happen. The Most High in the book of Numbers, it says what, Malakma? It says, the Most High is not a man that he shall lie.
Oh, God.
Right? He also said in Isaiah that when he says something, it doesn't return back to him. If he says something is going to happen, he said that the Babylonians will reign and rule and then fall. That happened. He said that the Persians and the Medes would reign, rule, and fall. What happened? You understand that it happened before their time, before Cyrus was even king, before the Medes overtook the Persians, before it became a joint empire. Daniel prophesied it. You understand? Before the Greeks came into power, before the Maccabean revolt and Antiochus and all of that history, and how the abomination of desolation would defile the temple, and how they sacrificed swine's flesh on our holy things, what we deemed holy, it was prophesied. Daniel prophesied hundreds of years before it even. So what makes you think that this empire is not going to fall? It is. You know why it is, Malakma? Why is this empire going to fall?
Because it's like, sir, because it is prophesied that it's going to fall.
Give him a hand. That's why. That's why it's going to happen. Just like when in Obadiah, if you could go to Obadiah 1, or it's only one chapter, but you go to Obadiah verse, I want to say 3, but let's look at it. Obadiah 4. Yep. If you could read that, Baba Kushai.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
The book of Obadiah is directed towards a nation of people. That nation of people is known as Esau. We know who Esau is today. We know who the biblical Edomites are today. And the Lord is directing this towards him. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, Who uses the eagle as their symbol of representation? Keep going.
And thou set thy nest among the stars.
Though thou set thy nest among the stars. How does he set his nest among the stars? How did he do that? When he went to the moon. What year did he go to the moon, Malakma?
1969, sir.
One more time.
1969.
Interesting. So since you want to go to the moon and place your American flag in the moon,
right?
No, what did he say when they landed? What did they say? The eagle has landed.
Right. Kamukan.
That's what he said. That's what they said. And it says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence, from that point, I will bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Right.
Can you tell me when the I.S.U.P.K started?
1969. Since 1969, sir.
When did he set his nest among the stars?
1969, sir.
So is the Bible not true?
The Bible is absolutely true, sir.
All right, Most High in Christ. And we have the privilege. Look, I take, great, as humble as I can say it, man. Being in a school is a gift, man. And the scriptures say, observe the opportunity. This is an opportunity to be in here and to continue what honorable men before us have been doing before us, so we could get to this point, beginning with Commander General Yahanna, who's still working, who's the busiest man in Israel. Right. You understand? So, I mean, imagine being in the school for so long. You still the busiest man. I mean, that's inspirational. And I believe every Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian should be inspired. Learning the Bible on a Tuesday? You wasn't doing that in the world. You was, doing all manner of evil and wickedness. You was getting high, gang banging, selling drugs, watching things you had no business watching, just doing things that were against the spirit of Christ. And now you're in the living room behind your desktop, pen and notepad in hand, preparing to learn the Bible. That's amazing. Go ahead, Malakma.
So, sir, we got Jeremiah Hyman.
Oh, Salaki. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah, sir.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Shalom, Akim. Going on, California.
Khan, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom, sir.
Come on, Damos, Akim. How's everything?
Everything's Tawab, sir. Glad to have you here, sir, once again.
I'm glad to be here. Gracias por tenerme en su clase. Gracias por tenerme en su clase. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me into your class. I'm ready to get it on. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them. You can type into the chat room and ask, or the brothers there with you or sisters can ask as well. We're going to break down Revelation 17 and 18. I believe that's what you told me, right?
Yes, sir, General.
We're going to break that down in here tonight. And this is absolutely relevant to the times that you're living in today. Completely relevant, especially because of Donald Trump and the oncoming fall of America. Rome believed that it would never end. Rome believed that it would go on for 1,000 years. But then eventually Rome fell. America believed it would never end. And America is going to fall. That's biblical prophecy. The only question is, where will you be in its fall? Where will you be? What will the Most High God decide to do with your life once the time of our oppressor is over? That's why we're here. That's why Commanding General Yahanna established this school. We're going to break it down right now tonight in Revelation 17 and 18. If anyone has any questions on or off the topic, please feel free to ask. All right?
Khan, sir.
You ready to rock?
Yes, sir. Khan. Would you like me to start from 17 and 1?
Please.
Yes, sir. Khan, sir. Revelation 17 and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had if I could, sir, I just want to say the water to Malakma. He's working the 1s and 2s.
I appreciate it, brother.
Kind of
Ahí en el
concept.
bar, General. Shalom. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahweh Shai te bendiga, General.
Yahweh en el nombre de Yahweh Shai te bendiga. Gracias. ¿Cómo andamos?
Most High in Christ.
You know.
Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Okay, here's the first thing that you have to understand about the entire book of Revelation. Right? This is written by a brother named John the Revelator, right? He's known in history as John the Revelator. He is the same disciple John that was beloved by Jesus Christ. This is a brother who sat in the bosom of Jesus Christ, meaning he loved him. He was dear to him. He came into the truth as a young man, and Jesus Christ became a father figure to him and his brother James. His brother James was unalived, was murdered by Nero Caesar. Unalive, why? For being willing to stand for Christ, a righteous man who was against an evil world, a man of peace and of kindness and of mercy and of courage. And he was killed by violent, evil men. Well, these same men that crucified his king, murdered his brother, now had thrown him in prison. And that's the backdrop of the book of Revelations, that this is a brother in prison on an island in the Aegean Sea called Patmos. And this was a prison island. Think about it like Rikers Island out there in New York, or what's that other island in Staten Island? Sing Sing. And what's the other island that Donald Trump wants to reopen again?
Alcatraz?
Alcatraz, right. Alcatraz is a prison island. Donald Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz because he misses the glory days of the suffering and starvation of Alcatraz. He misses it, and he wants to reopen it. Well, John was on the island of Patmos, a prison island. And he's in caves and finding God knows what to eat in these islands, on this island. And every day he's thinking about the one thing that's giving his heart hope, and that's the fall of the Roman Empire. That's all he's thinking about, because the Roman Empire are the people that killed his brother, crucified his king, and they have imprisoned him. And if you can just get that about the book of Revelations, that this is a man in prison getting visions about the fall of the people that put him in prison. That's the point. That's the entire point. The entire point of Revelations, which is why it used to be called the apocalypse of John, or the apocalypse of Jesus, is because he's writing about the destruction of his prison master, the destruction of the people that threw him in this jail unjustly. He knows he'll never get off the island. He knows he'll never get a chance to leave. He knows his brother is dead. He knows his king has been crucified. All he has is his prayers for vengeance every day. His prayers that God will destroy the Roman Empire that have destroyed the people he loves in his life. And the Most High God in his mercy gives him the revelation that the people that killed your brother are going to be killed as well. The people that destroyed your life, their lives will be destroyed. And it won't be done by the hand of man, but God will look down on your pain and he will give you vengeance. That was his hope, brother. That was his revelation. You understand?
Kind of one kind.
Now, with that in mind, read it from the top.
Yes, sir. Kind of one kind, sir. Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth, the great whore, the great whore.
Start at judgment. The what?
The judgment.
The what?
The judgment.
The what?
The judgment.
Imagine that, Thawabon. You on an island, starving and suffering, your family dead, and the angel says, Come with me, and I'll show you the judgment of the whore. This is comfort. This is what comforts a man when you've killed his family and destroyed the greatest man that ever lived and imprisoned him for nothing. He's an innocent man sitting in this prison. And the angel says, Come with me, and I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. What does that term mean, sits upon many waters? Well, Roman Empire of that time, it was the most expansive empire in history. The Roman Empire started from Great Britain to the Middle East. To the Middle East, from Great Britain to the Middle East. The Roman Empire controlled Carthage, which means it controlled Africa. It controlled Africa. It controlled Great Britain all the way to the Middle East. It was the whore that sits upon many waters. It's not just a place that, rules one body of land, but it rules the planet Earth of that time.
Right.
And why is it called the Great Whore? Because this slut, you have to sleep with her. You want to sleep with her. She has pleasure that people are willing to pay to get. That's why Rome was called a whore, because everyone had sex with this whore. Everyone compromised themselves to have the pleasure that this whore provided. Every nation, the Africans, the people in Iraq, the people in Great Britain, the Celts, every nation on the planet had sex with her. What do I mean by have sex with her? They gave up their culture and accepted Roman culture. They gave up their traditions and they accepted Roman traditions. And in doing so, Rome made them rich. They saved their own lives because if they didn't do it, Rome would kill them. But because they were willing to give up their own gods, their own culture, Rome gave them their life and made them rich. You understand?
Kind.
Continue.
Kind. Verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
That's what I just broke down just now. All the kings of the earth have fornicated with this whore. It's just, and so many people don't realize that aspect of America, and it's the same aspect of Rome, that aspect of Great Britain, of France. It's that same aspect that Rome had. The people would starve and suffer and be beaten and thrown in prison. But the rulers of those countries, they would get rich, They would be rich. Those African countries that Rome ruled, the people would starve and be killed. But the African leaders, the chieftains and kings, they were the richest people that they ever thought they could be in their lives. They grew more rich than anyone could imagine because they were willing to compromise themselves for money. They all of the kings of the earth did it. Continue.
Kind. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
The inhabitants, all of the people of the earth, have now lost their mind because they're drunk off of Roman power. Imagine living in some hut somewhere, being a Celt living in a hut. All of a sudden, Rome brings streets and cities and, paved roads and armies and now money and now trade. Now, instead of just selling goats in your little town, you could be selling goats all over the Roman Empire now, everywhere. Like everyone is drunk off of the power that they have because now they're Romans. Now they're Roman citizens and they're willing to give up their own God. They're willing to give up the God of their forefathers. Rome was able to conquer the world. Only one people stood in their way. Only one nation said, we will not abandon the laws of our forefathers. We will not do it. And that's the nation of Israel, brother. That's the nation of Israel. And we paid dearly for that. We paid dearly for our integrity in 70 AD when the Romans destroyed our homeland and scattered you and I all over the damn planet. Keep going.
Kind. Verse 3. So he, Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw
the angel takes him away in his mind. When it says carried me away in the spirit, means he didn't actually go there, but in his mind, he went away to a wilderness. You understand? Like imagine a powerful dream, a powerful daydream, and you get taken away somewhere else in your mind, otherwise known as in the spirit. Continue.
Kind. Into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast.
You see a woman. If you have a visualization, you can pull it up now. All right. If you see it, imagine a woman. This is a vision. This is a vision in his mind. He sees a woman sitting on a scarlet colored beast. The term scarlet is old for red. Red is what scarlet is. So he sees a woman sitting on a red animal. Continue.
Kind. Full of names of blasphemy.
So this beast is full of names of blasphemy. Terrible names, wicked names. When it says blasphemy, it means that these names are against God. How could a name be blasphemous? Does anyone want to give it a shot before I answer it? How could a name be blasphemous?
I'm checking the comments.
No problem.
While they type that in, sir, as far as the imagery, were you referring to the images you wanted shown, or like an image of?
I don't think I had an image of this, but not yet. Mine's are coming up.
Okay,
you have you can put that image up that you wanted to put up. You showed me. That's fine too.
Okay. Kind of, sir.
That might give them a good visualization. I'll break the question down unless someone wants to try to answer it. All right.
Kind of, sir.
I'll break it down. The reason that these names are blasphemous is because these are the names of the gods of these other nations, the god of this woman. So she has a ton of names. So imagine a beast, and all of the names are the names that she calls God, that she believes are gods. That's what makes it blasphemous. Like Allah is blasphemy. Jehovah is blasphemy. Buddha, blasphemy. Because these are the names that they call God. But it's blasphemous to call the Lord anything other than his true name, Yahweh. That's blasphemy. Right. So that's why when it says names full of blasphemy, that's what it's talking about. All right.
Kind. Revelation 17:3, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now here we go. This beast had 7 heads and 10 horns. These 7 heads are speaking about the 7 kingdoms that rose up in power after Rome fell. This is the angel showing John that Rome is going to fall. Rome is going to break up into 7 separate countries. And then 10 countries out of that. That was great comfort to him. Because at this time, when John was on this island, Rome was powerful, brother. I believe Dalmatian. Look up some cat named Dalmatian, I believe.
Okay.
Damnation. I believe his name was Caesar Damnation. I believe he was in charge when John was on the island of Patmos in prison. But of course, it's history, so you can't verify it like you can the Bible. But I believe his name was Damnation or Damnation. All right.
Well,
Rome was very strong, but the prophecy that John is receiving is that Rome is going to be split up, 7 kingdoms, and then 10 kingdoms after that. You understand? What are these 7 kingdoms? These 7 kingdoms are the 7 major Roman provinces that rose up in the fall of Rome. Rome splintered. So, first Rome splintered into East and West, into the eastern part of the Roman Empire, which was headed by Constantinople, right? And then the western part of the Roman Empire, which was in the city of Rome, which is today called the Vatican, right? And they split up in 2. Then after that, it split more into 7 heads. Those 7 heads are
So verse Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
The woman was dressed in what?
Purple and scarlet color.
But once again, many of you out there have heard of the IUIC. This is where the IUIC, the purple pigs, cerdos morados. This is where they get their color scheme, their uniforms. They get it from the Roman Empire. You don't believe me? Show me the Vatican today. Show me the popes and the cardinals. You know, recently they just elected a new Count Dracula over there in Vatican City. They elected a new pope, and here's the meeting of all the popes right here.
Good night.
This is the cardinals and the bishops. This is them all meeting to elect a new Count Dracula in Vatican City, which is the seat of the western part of the Roman Empire. Read that precept again.
Yes, sir. Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
These were the colors of Rome. Did I send you the color? Why these are the colors of Rome? I believe I sent this to you as well.
Yes, sir. If you could pull that up, Malakma Baba Kushai.
This is the reason that red is so important in Rome, and purple and gold is so important in Rome, which is why it's important to the Roman Catholic Church, which is why fake Israelite groups like the I.U.I.C. made them their colors today, because every false god is trying to be the Roman Empire. They all want to do it. They all want to find a way to be the Byzantine Empire, to be the Roman Empire. They all idolize this whore. Everyone, every Christian church, every fake Israelite group is idolizing the Roman Empire. They want to be her. They want to drink of that cup. They want to commit fornication with that whore.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Read what this is right here. Read that.
Let me see.
Is at the bottom right there.
Let me see.
Roman emperor sitting on throne in purple and gold. Right. The artist's depiction of how Roman emperors would dress. And I'm going to explain to you why. They all wanted to be arrayed in this color, purple and gold. Purple and gold, red. They all wore red. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Give me another. You have something else?
If I may, I have this library I go to down the road. And in the section of learning about Rome and the different eras of the Roman Empire, there's a book that captures every age, if you will, of the Roman Empire. And this is what the book looks like. And it's very on purpose. It's purple and gold.
Yeah, there you go.
Ancient Rome. I thought that was pretty significant to what you're explaining right now.
Yeah, if I ever thought about it, I'd have had a picture of the I.U.I.C. and I would have put it right next to Caesar.
Okay.
Put it right next to Caesar because that's where they get it from.
Right.
But and the Romans use it for a specific reason, and they use red for a specific reason.
Right.
All right. Do you have any more things, any more videos or pictures about the clothing?
If you could, Malakma, it says clothing in ancient Rome. That's the heading of the tab I sent you. If you could pull that up for us, Baba Kushai.
Make it a little bigger, so I can read it.
We can zoom it.
Or you can read it for me. Either one is fine.
So from the top.
Yes,
this is clothing.
I think this is the one I told you to skip down to a certain word, I believe.
Let me see. I
can't see it. Like you have made that bigger for me.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Start at the toga. What the hell? Go ahead.
It says Salakia as well. The toga was considered Rome's quote unquote national costume.
So the toga was, their uniform, which is what everyone wore. Go ahead.
Privileged to Roman citizens, but for day-to-day activities, most Romans preferred more casual, practical, and comfortable clothing.
So they wouldn't wear this every day, but this was their formal attire. This was their church clothing. This is what they wore to church. When they went to a religious function, they wore this toga. Go ahead.
The tunic in various forms was the basic garment for all classes.
I'm gonna skip down all that's going into how they dress. Skip down, keep going down.
Most clothing and simple.
Scroll down.
Oh, it's like it. Let me see here.
Find it for time's sake. Let's stop right there. 1 second. Bam. Okay, here we go. None will participate successful. Elite. Keep going. Okay, hold on. Formal wear. Well, I gave you a word earlier, Rock. I texted it to you, bro.
Kind. It says the word. It might have been a typo. If I'm
okay, but then maybe it was a typo. Let me see. Okay, let me just try. Babbity, bang, cloth of gold, embroideries, a Roman. You see the word purple?
I do.
Go ahead.
Kind. If you could go up just a little bit. Rome's governing elite produced law designed to limit public displays of personal wealth and luxury. None were particularly successful, as the same wealthy elite had an appetite for luxurious and fashionable clothing. Exotic fabrics were available at a price: silk, damasks, translucent gauzes, cloth of gold, and intricate embroideries. And
go ahead, keep going.
And and vivid, expensive dyes such as saffron yellow or Tyrian purple.
The Tyrian purple was just, so expensive, so rich. Go back up, please. You should see something about white. It'll say white, red, and purple somewhere up there. It's in there. We got to find it somewhere in there right now. I'll text you the word. Let me see if I can find it real fast for you.
Okay.
Stand by. Okay, I got you. You're going to see the rare. It's going to say the toga, the pui. It's going to be in the section Trabea, Trabea.
Trabea.
It should be in blue right there. You see the word Trabea?
Kind.
Okay, go ahead and read from Trabea down. Go ahead.
Kind. I could be saying it wrong. Equatus.
Equatus is the name of a Roman scholar who went to write about history in Rome. Go ahead.
Okay. Wore the Trabea, a shorter equestrian form of white toga, or a purple, red wrap, or both.
Right. Equestrian means it was made to be worn on a horse. So this is a toga that was shorter so that it wouldn't get caught up down there among the horse and touch the horse. But what color was it? It was white. It was white, right? That's why the Pope wears white, because white was the purest form, like a Caesar would wear white. Caesar wore a white toga. The religious people would wear a blue toga, a red toga, a purple toga, and all of these colors represented something. Many of you know about the red, white, and blue in the American flag. The red, white, and blue in the American flag comes from Rome. White represents the most holy priesthood, the ones who are above the fray, the ones that sit in power, like the Pope who wears white. The blue represents the city, or the police. The red represents the military. Those three factions have to work together for Rome not to split up into 7 heads. Those are the 3 factions of Rome that they need to work together, which is why every society that has broken off from Rome uses red, white, and blue in their flag. Every last one. Everyone uses red, white, and blue. Russia, Great Britain, all of them use red, white, and blue because all of them know that 3 groups of people, 3 factions of society must come together or else they'll split up. The judges, the priests, the ones who wear white, the military. The military is represented by red, and blue is represented by the law keepers that keep the people in order. That's why the police wear blue. That's why the Roman military wore red. That's why Great Britain, in their military, they wore red. The red signifies blood because the people in the military are killers. The people who govern the city are concerned about the law and people being orderly. And white rules over both of them and sits in judgment over both of them. This is where they got it from. They all got it from Rome. If you need more proof, look up this term, the fourth estate. Where does that term come from? Fourth estate. When you get it, let me know. I'll read it.
If you could, Malakma. And if I may, sir, I think it's interesting. You know, I just thought about it. I thought it was kind of funny that red and blue makes purple.
Well, that's I was getting to that, but you were right on point.
Oh, so like, yes, sir.
Red and blue. When you combine red and blue together, it makes purple. You might not notice about America, but whenever there's a presidential election, and this happened all the way up until Donald Trump, whatever party loses, the loser comes out on stage wearing purple. If you want to get when Hillary Clinton lost the election. When she gave her concession speech, she wore purple. That's done on purpose, because purple is to say, listen, I'm a Democrat, I wear blue. You're a Republican, you wear red. But to come together, I'll wear purple. I'll make peace with the other party. So they're supposed to wear purple to signify unity between the red and the blue. If you want to, you can just pull up Hillary Clinton's concession speech when she lost the election. She'll come out on the stage and she's going to wear purple. And it's a tradition that they always kept. Donald Trump doesn't keep any traditions because he's too ignorant to do anything that's honorable or dignified at all. But this is how Rome was. Purple signified unity. We were together. We were rich and we were powerful and we were unified. And it's the unity of the red and the blue. All right. In the American society, red signifies the Republicans. Blue signifies the Democrats. In gang culture, red signifies the Bloods out there in California, and blue signifies the Crips. You see that? That's why you see Bill Clinton doing it.
Right.
That's why they're trying to say, listen, we lost. We're not going to wear blue out here. We ain't going to be Crips out here. We ain't going to be Crips out here tonight. Usually we dress like Crips. That's how the Democrats dress like Crips. But they said, no, we ain't going to dress like Crips tonight. We're going to wear purple to signify we want peace. We all come together. You see the red and the blue behind her, correct? Right? The red, white, and the blue comes from Rome. It's the three major segments of Roman society: the priesthood, the military, and the state. And they need unity. When they don't have unity, they break up into seven heads. That's what happened. They broke up. If you look at any picture of a Roman soldier wearing red, wore red, which is why Great Britain wore red. I think Great Britain used to be called the Redcoats. They wore red all the way up until God knows when. I think they still wear red over there at Buckingham Palace. I think the brothers from the UK know what I'm talking about. I think the beef eaters out there, the guards out there, no, not the beef eaters, but the Buckingham Palace guards. I think they still wear the traditional red that comes from being the military. That's the red. Those are the Bloods, the Republicans, the Roman military. And blue is worn by the police, the state. Even the war, the great civil war that was had in Rome, which is when Julius Caesar came up against, Julius Caesar was killed, and then Mark Antony and Augustus Caesar fought the people who were with what's his name? Pliny the Elder, Crassus, Brutus, and they wore blue.
Right. General.
Go ahead, please.
Sir, just want to let you know that I have that fourth estate whenever you want it, sir.
Please. The fourth estate is very integral to understand what the red, white, and the blue are. Also, if you need a precept, you go to the three-headed eagle. That precept in the Bible about the three-headed eagle. Go ahead and read that, please.
The term fourth estate or fourth power refers to the press and news media in their explicit capacity beyond the reporting of news of wielding influence in politics.
So you see, the media is known as the fourth power because there are three powers. The press became to be known as the fourth power because the press is the one who informs the people about what's really going on. Skip down to it. It'll explain the other powers.
Kind.
1 second. You'll get it right now. Right? So what's all this proving? This is just proving where these colors come from. You see them all over the place, red, white, and blue. The Pope wears white. The cardinals and bishops wear purple and red. The Republicans love blue. I mean, the Democrats love blue. The Crips love blue. The Bloods love red. They all come from Rome. All of it comes from Rome. I sent you the screenshot.
Kind, sir. Going to pull it up now.
Also, I'll give you another book while he's doing this. You can go find. There's a book called the 12 Caesars, which will speak about the 12 Caesars that took over Rome, that's changed Rome from being a republic into an empire, starting with Julius Caesar and ending with Hadrian. Okay, you can guess that's the book right there. That's an excellent book. It'll speak about the 12 Caesars. These 12 Caesars are the ones that expanded Rome to control most of the world. And then, of course, they fell apart. They broke apart into 7 governments. You have the fourth. You have it yet? The thing I sent you over?
Can you pull it? Origins. The term fourth estate emerged from the traditional concept of the 3 estates in Europe, where the nobility, the clergy, and the commoners.
That's what you right there. You hear that? The nobility, the clergy, and the commoners. Those 3 have to come together. That's the 3 colors on the flag. That's those 3 lines. Who are the nobility? What do they wear? They wear the white. That's the Pope. The Pope wears white. He's the nobility. Well, who else? The nobility. Say that again.
The nobility, the clergy, and the commoners.
The clergy? The clergy are the people that take care of the people. You know, the people that they organize the people. They bring the people together, your priests, your bishops, the people who are in charge of the people. That's the clergy. They call them politicians today. They're the same thing as preachers. A preacher and a politician is exactly the same thing. He's there to wrangle and to pacify the people. The clergy, that's the blue. Keep going.
And the commoners.
And who are the commoners? You should know who the commoners are. The commoners, that's the military. Because who is in the military? Who's dying in the military? Not the sons of rich men. Not them. Not the sons of the wealthy. The commoner joins the military and he dies on foreign soil. He gives his life. He's the one that you send out to go kill people. He's the one that you send to Carthage and to Gaul and to France and to go fight the Huns. He's the one you send to Iraq and Afghanistan, right? The commoner, that's the people in the military. Those 3 have to come together. When they don't come together, when they fight each other, then Rome breaks up into 7 separate kingdoms. Everyone understands.
All
right, let's keep going.
If I may, sir. I had a question. I wanted to get clarity on. Would it be fair, or would it be right to assume the Republicans and the Democrats come from I believe the plebeians and patricians?
Yes, the plebeians and the patricians. The patricians are the wealthy class. That's correct. Okay. And that's why you always have that too in society. Even over in Great Britain, you have the Conservative Party and you have the Labor Party. Right? That's how it is in every country. In every country, it's the rich and the poor that have to find a way to come together. They got to unify. And of course, there's someone above them that will be over all of them, the red, the white, and the blue. The plebeians were the common everyday people, and the patrician class were the rich people in Rome. Oh, the patricians, they wore glorious purple and gold garments, brother. The patrician class, I mean, they wore the most beautiful purple and gold. You would have thought they was deacons in the IUIC. They dressed so pretty.
Good night.
They were so pretty purple homos in Rome.
If I may,
go ahead.
If I may, it makes it more. I can understand it more if I was a brother in the 1st century of Rome and Christ telling me the parable of Lazarus. It would just make so much sense to me why he's saying the purple.
That's the reason. He's saying purple because Jesus Christ was against the white man.
Right.
He was coming against them. He was always trying to talk about the white man. Always. And they were always trying to kill him over it. Always trying to get him killed. Well, should we pay taxes? What do you say? Should we pay trying to get him killed? Because they want him to say no. So then the Romans could come and kill him right there on the spot. Instead, he says, whose face is on the money? Caesar's. Then render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto God what belongs to God. Right. He was always trying to fight the Roman Empire, but not fight them with weapons, not fight them with, swords and staffs, but fight them with the power of God. And that power eventually split them up into 7 pieces. Split them up. And now John is hearing about it on this island. He's hearing about the future. And the prophecy that he received, it happened. It happened. He got this prophecy when Rome was strong and stable. The red, white, and the blue were together. They were unified. And he got this prophecy that they were going to fall. And it happened. Go ahead.
Kawakai. Revelation 17 and 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. Oh,
that's that cup that everybody wants to get a drink out of. She has a golden cup in her hand, full of filthiness, abominations, and everybody comes to drink of. Everyone comes to get a swig of what's in that cup. This is where your church comes from in America. This is why your church has pagan holidays. Your church has a Christmas tree in it, not because of Jesus, but because it was a Christmas tree in Rome. They worship Christmas. They worship Saturnalia. They worship these holidays. And everybody comes to drink, because if you are willing to act as the Romans do, you know that saying, right? When in Rome. You ever heard that saying, Double Bun?
I heard it before, but I'm not too.
When in Rome, behave as the Romans do.
Good night.
But when you're in Rome, man, act like them. Eat what they eat. They eat crab, right? You eat crab. They eat snails and lobster. You eat them. They wear purple and gold. You wear it. They wear red to signify that they're clothed in blood. You do it. They're Crips and Bloods. You be a Crip in the blood. You wear blue and red. You do it. And everyone drinks. And that's the significance of it. It always boggles my mind that the Democrats and the Republicans have the same colors as the Crips and the Bloods. Like that's like a mind-boggling thing. And some poor brother who's a Crip or a Blood, he has no idea that really he's just a Democrat or a Republican. It's the exact same thing.
Okay.
The same battle, the same fight, and they're all just people who have drank from that cup. They have all drunk from that filthy cup of the Roman Empire.
Okay. If I may, sir, not to interject too much, but it reminds me of a famous pathway that the Romans used, known as the Appian Way. And you can go now and as a tourist and go view it, and they call it the Purple Route.
Yes, they do.
That's crazy.
That's what it's called today, the Purple Route. And that's where they had Roman triumphs, the Appian Way, because the Appian Way is right in between the 7 hills of Rome. And so it's like a Broadway in between these 7 major marketplaces, major business places that they called hills, which is why America has Capitol Hill today, right? America has those hills because those are the hills that they had in Rome. And the Appian Way was where Caesar and other Caesars after him would have a triumph. Donald Trump is about to have his own triumph in Washington, D.C. Right. He's going to have a military triumph just like Julius Caesar. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. America is Rome. Great Britain is Rome.
Right.
France is Rome.
Right.
Spain is Rome. They're Rome. Keep going.
Count on, sir. Revelation 17 and 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon
on her head, meaning it's on her head for a reason, because what's on your head? Your brain, your mind. On her forehead was what?
mystery.
Keep going.
Babylon the Great.
Mystery. Babylon the Great. Why? Well, let's start backwards. You know what Babylon the Great is. Babylon the Great is where you get the Christmas tree from. From Babylon.
Right.
That's the Appian Way right there.
Mm.
And they recreate that in Washington, D.C. And every president, when he becomes president, he wins, he has that ride down that street where he waves at all the people.
Mm.
The Pope does it in Rome, where he goes down the same path in the Vatican City, and he waves down the street. Donald Trump is going to have tanks and missiles and everything when he does his birthday party for everyone to come out and worship him like he's Julius Caesar.
Mm.
That's the Appian Way. It's Roman tradition. In Rome, they called it a triumph. In America, they called it an inauguration.
Mm.
In Great Britain, they call it a coronation. It's the exact same thing. All right, continue.
Kind. Mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots.
There you go. Babylon the Great, the mother of whores. The word harlot is an old word that means whore or prostitute. All right, today. All right. Babylon the Great is the first power on the earth that was started by a man named Nimrod, who was a mighty hunter. He killed so many people. He conquered the globe. And when he felt his power was at its peak, he decided to conquer God as well.
Mm.
He decided he would fight the Lord. He thought he was strong enough. He had brought all the people of the world together, which is the point you have to get with Babylon the Great. Like this thing called racial unity, the unity of countries, that was the desire of Rome. That was the desire of Babylon, to bring everyone together. If you need it, you can read the precept. If you don't think we need to now, it's up to you. But if you go back and read the precept, that when his power was great and all people spoke the same language, he decided to build a tower and to attack God, where God lives in heaven. He thought he was strong enough. Unity, the people of this world don't want unity to end starvation, to end poverty, to make sure every child has health care. They could do that tomorrow. America could end poverty tomorrow, if they wanted to. The countries of this world want to unify so that they can conquer more of the globe, so they can destroy more people. There's only a certain amount of people that America can destroy on its own, but if Great Britain will come together with it, oh my goodness, if they can get Qatar and Saudi Arabia, if they can get more countries to unify, then they could conquer more of the globe. Then they could conquer the moon. Then they could conquer Mars. And they could do it, which is all they want. They want unity. Well, the first country that demanded unity of all nations was Babylon. They wanted unity from all nations, and they wanted it so they could fight God. They attempted it. God struck down their tower and scattered their unity. He didn't let them talk to each other anymore. He gave them all different languages. And that's why it's called Babylon to this day. Because he gave them all different languages. And now when one of them talked, all they heard is babble. They couldn't understand each other anymore. God did that because God does not want them to unify. Because if they do unify, nothing will be barred from them. They'll be able to conquer Mars. They'll be able to conquer Saturn. They'll do everything because they're unified in wickedness, in evil. They're not unified to help the sick. They're not unified to help children get health care. They're unified to be more wicked at more places. That's it.
Right.
So now, that's why she's called Babylon the Great, the mother of whores. Why is Babylon the Great called the mother of whores? Because Babylon birthed Rome. It's like a whore that gives birth to more whores. Like you're a whore. A lot of you people out there, your mom was a whore. I heard about her. Your mother was a whore. And what did she give birth to? More whores. Your mother was having sex with all kinds of men. before you know it, that woman has a daughter. That daughter has sex with every goddamn body. Why? Because she's just like a mother. So that's Babylon. Babylon was a country that wanted to unify all people of the planet to come together to fight God. Rome is trying to do the same thing. After Rome, America does the same thing. That's another whore. Then Great Britain, that's another whore. Then Spain, Germany, that's another whore. What was Adolf Hitler trying to do? Why did Adolf Hitler invade Poland? Why did Adolf Hitler invade Austria? Why did he invade what's that other country he invaded? What's the other one right next to Germany? Poland. It begins with a P. I forget the name. All those countries around there. He invaded France. Why did Adolf Hitler invade and take over France? Adolf Hitler was trying to unify those countries. They were all going to be German. France, Poland, all the surrounding countries, the Deutschland. He was unifying the world, Adolf Hitler, so he could be more wicked and more evil. Why did America form the United States? You hear that term right there, warrior? United States. They formed the United States to do the same thing that Adolf Hitler learned from America, to force all of these countries, force all of these states to come together as one. Because if they were united, then they could conquer other countries. Why did the United Kingdom make itself the United Kingdom? Why? To come together with Scotland and Ireland and the British Isles to conquer more of the globe, to take over. And then what do they have after that? What's they have right now? The European Union.
Right.
Now they have the European Union, and they all combine under one euro. Why? Because if they unify, do they want to end hunger? Do they want to end starvation? No. They'll unify to go conquer more people and to starve more people and to steal from more people. That political concept started in Babylon. Then the Romans took it up. Then the Americans took it up, and the British took it up, and the French took it up. Everybody understands?
Why
she's called the mother of whores. Now, why is she called mystery? Anyone want to give it a shot? Mystery, because read that part read what's on her forehead one more time.
Yes, sir. Revelation 17:5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Now, I explained the last part. Now, all I need you to do is explain, why does it say mystery? Why does it say that?
Check in the comments. You could type in your response in the comments. Why does it say mystery is what the general is asking.
Is to understand why it's so difficult to be in the Israelite school of U.P.K. and to teach what we teach, even though what we teach is obvious. Like it's obvious. Anyone want to give it a shot? Salakia, U.P.K. Deandra, Salakia Ottawa. It's because at the time America was not founded. No, because no, this is not talking about America. This precept is talking about Rome. That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm bringing up America because America comes out of Rome. Great Britain comes out of Rome. All right. Salakia, sir, this is Shabbat Allah. Salakia, sir, because nobody knows this is the mystery beast. Give him a hand. That's the answer. Can you imagine being enslaved by somebody, being killed, your grandfather, your grandmother, your whole forefamily, the tribe of Gad? That's what Thawaban is, man, the chosen people of God. What do you prefer, tribe of Gad? So-called North American Indian or indigenous people? Which one would you prefer?
North American Indian, personally.
Most High in Christ. The so-called North American Indian. Imagine being all of your people being wiped out. All of your forefathers being wiped out, and the cops killing you today. And then you ask somebody, is the white man the devil? They go, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not the devil. No, he's not. Damn, it's still a mystery who the whore is. It's still a mystery who Babylon is. With all of her murder, no one knows that she is Babylon the Great, the mother of whores, with all of her actions, with all of her history. Still, no one knows who she is. Still, no one knows. That
If
your brother answered the perfect question. Go ahead, Al.
If I may, sir, would this precept be appropriate? 2 Thessalonians 2:7.
That's the precept. Go ahead.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
That's it. The mystery of iniquity was working back in the time of Paul. You know what that means? Even at the time of Paul, if you ask somebody, well, are the Romans the devil? People said, no. What are you talking about? What did the Romans do that's so wrong? I got to leave now. I got to get my early morning beating from my master. So I got to go get my back beat by my patriarch. He beats me every day at 2, but I don't know who the devil is. See you. I got to go get, my wife is scheduled to be raped in about 2 hours.
Good night.
But I don't know who the devil is. They didn't know who the devil was in Rome. They didn't know. And they don't know today. It's a mystery. And it's working right now. But this is who she actually is. Let me end the mystery right now for you. She's Babylon the Great, the mother of whores. Babylon birthed Rome, which birthed America, which birthed Great Britain, France, Germany, Italy, blah, blah, blah. All right, anything else?
Revelation 17 and the latter of verse 5, and the abominations of the earth.
There you go. All the wickedness of the earth comes from these countries trying to be like Babylon, trying to be like Rome. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
This woman was drunk with what?
The blood of the saints.
You see, this gave comfort to John because his brother's blood was drunk by that woman.
Right.
His brother James.
Right.
Sons of Zebedee, the sons of thunder, James and John. James was murdered by Nero Caesar, murdered by the Roman Empire. He sees this woman and she is drunk on the blood of the saints. What are the saints? You look it up in your Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Does someone want to give it a shot now? If you have it, if you don't have it for time's sake, I'll have to move on. I'm sorry?
Oh, no, I had a precept, if I may.
That's better. Go ahead.
Psalms 148:14, sir.
Please.
He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, his saints.
His what?
His saints.
His saints. Keep going.
Even of the children of Israel.
A saint is a repentant Israelite,
right,
who has turned from his ways of sin. That's what a saint is. An Israelite is an Israelite. A saint is an Israelite who repents for his past works, for his past deeds. Well, this woman kills the repentant Israelites. When an Israelite decides to change, the Romans killed them. You see, the Romans didn't kill the Israelites that were willing to have Christmas trees and eat pork and eat shrimp and worship Augustus as God. They didn't kill them. But if you decided, Shema Yasha Allah Allahayana wa Yahweh Akkad, if you say, I'm an Israelite and I have one God, and Caesar is not my God, Augusta is not my God, Nero is not my God, then you died. If you refuse to eat pig, you died. If you refuse to eat pork, you died, or what they called jamon, which is what the Spanish pushed all over the globe and forced people to eat pork, or else they accuse you of being a secret Jew. Look up that term, a secret Jew. The Catholic Church said, we can't have any secret Jews around here. And so the Spanish conquistadors killed brothers and sisters if they didn't hang pig legs in their window. If they didn't cure pig legs in their window, have them hanging there. Then they killed you because they accused you of being a secret Jew. Right. They killed the people who tried to keep the law, which is why you Christians are some dirty bastards, man. Any Christians out there, if you a Christian, say something in here. Something in here right now, tonight. If you're a Christian, because you a dirty bastard, and I'm going to tell you why. Because so many of your people died because they refuse to do what you do today. They didn't do it. The way you eat pork and you love pork, think about how many pork battles you've gotten in your life. I mean, if you've been in the truth a year, brother, you got to battle somebody about pork. If you've been in the school 1 year, you've already had a battle about keeping the commandments. When you're in a commandment battle, let me tell you the battle you're really in. You're in a battle about pork or sexuality. That's it. You're not the law. When they fight to do away with the law, they're not doing away with any other law other than eating pigs. That's
Right.
it. Why? Because they are devoted to eating pork. I'll tell you why. Because your ancestors were killed because they didn't. Your ancestors were murdered because they did not do what you do. Don't you feel bad? Don't you feel terrible? Don't you feel like you're letting your bloodline down, your ancestors down? Your grandfather died because he would not eat that bacon. He refused to do it. And now here you are today saying the law is done away with. I eat bacon for Jesus. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ was killed because he refused to eat bacon. He was killed because he refused to drink of that cup. He refused to be Roman. And the Sadducee and Pharisee had him killed for it. It's in the Bible.
Right.
Can you get it? Can you give it to me? I believe it's John 11:45. The Sadducee and Pharisee were afraid of the Roman Empire.
Right.
Scared of them. John, he risked his life and he died in prison. He wrote these revelations in prison and died there. But you know who didn't go to jail? Let me show you who did not go to jail. Give me John 11:45 if you have it. So said don't take.
Kind. John 11:45 reads.
Wait 1 second. Let me make sure it is.
Okay.
Let me see 48.
John 11:48. If we let him thus alone.
Now, if I could, this is the meeting that the Pharisee had when they were contemplating on what they should do about Jesus Christ. So one of them is saying, listen, if we do nothing, if we don't kill him, if we don't set him up to be killed, if we leave him alone, go ahead.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
If we don't kill him, this brother is going to make everyone believe on him. They're not going to believe in us anymore. They're going to believe in him. Everyone will believe in him. And if people stop following us and start following him, go ahead.
And the Romans
and the who?
The Romans.
And the who?
Romans.
And the Romans, go ahead.
Shall come and take away both our place and nation.
The Sadducee and Pharisee said, if we don't kill him, then all the people are going to follow him. And if the people follow him, the Romans are going to consider us rebels against the state, enemies of the state. You see, the Sadducee and Pharisee thought they were keeping the people alive by convincing them to eat pork, by convincing them to eat crab and shrimp and lobster, by convincing them that Caesar is also a god. And, what's the god? Saturn is also a god. And the Christmas tree is also a god. And this kept people alive. Now, here you are today, you Christians. While Jesus Christ was killed, literally, because if people followed him, the Romans would be upset. The Romans would be angry because he would not let people compromise the law. People would have to keep the law, and the Romans would kill the people if they kept the law. Now, here you are today, breaking the law. You're eating pork. Don't you feel bad? Don't you believe you're a coward and a pussy? Don't you feel like a pussy every day when you see us? When you see our integrity and you look at us and go, aren't they afraid to say this in public? I know that's what you think, right? You think them niggas is crazy. Them niggas on 125th Street is crazy. They're out of their minds saying the things they say. You think we're crazy because you are a pussy and a coward. And that's how you live so long.
Right.
That's how you've lived so long, because you are a coward. Jesus Christ was no coward.
Right.
He died on a cross, and John died in prison writing the book of Revelations. You're not cut from the same cloth they are. I understand.
And that cloth ain't purple.
And that cloth ain't purple. Give him a hand. And it ain't purple. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Revelation 17:7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath 7 heads and 10 horns.
Listen, it says the mystery on her head. I'm gonna tell you the mystery right now. I'm gonna tell you who she is. No one knows who she is.
Right.
No one understands her. I'm gonna tell you who she is right now. Go ahead.
What kind, sir? Verse 8. The which hath 7 heads and 10 horns. Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
This is what you need. The beast that you saw, that's the beast that the woman is sitting on. That woman is the whore. She's sitting on the beast. That beast you saw was, meaning it's from the past. And it what? It was, and what else?
And is not the beast that thou sawest was and is not.
That beast. Now let me slow it down. The beast was in the past. It's not around now. Keep going.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
And it's coming back. It was in the past. It's gone, and it's coming back. That's the point. It was around in the past. It's gone now, and it's coming back. That's this beast. This beast is speaking about the Roman Empire. That empire of Rome. Rome at one time started off as a kingdom. And then that kingdom fell, and a republic rose up in its place. Then the republic fell. Then they became an empire. Then the empire fell.
Right.
And then after that, it rose up again. How did it rise up again? It rose up again as the Roman Catholic Church. Meaning, this beast dies and comes back. Dies and comes back. It was around a long time ago. Then it's dead and it comes back. That's the Roman Empire. It's always gone, and then here it is again.
Right.
It falls and then it comes right back. That's what Rome does. Rome is around today, but it's no longer called the Roman Empire. It's now called the Roman Catholic Church. And it sways with the same power as the Roman Empire. The Roman Catholic Church, every country worships it. Every European power had to bend its knee to the Pope to be coronated. The Pope put the crown on every head of the Roman kings and queens of Europe. The Pope put it on his head, or the bishop that the Pope assigned to put the crown on the head of every king in Europe. So Rome is still in charge. It's just now a religious power. At one time, before it died, it was a military power. It was, it's gone, it's coming back. It's going to rise back up out of the bottomless pit. Continue.
Kind of, sir. And go into perdition.
And do what?
Go into perdition.
And go into sin. Why? Because when we speak about Rome, the Roman Empire, what we're actually speaking about is Esau, the nation of Esau, and its most powerful branch, its most expansive and bloodthirsty branch, which is the Roman Empire, its most successful branch. You have other Edomites that are not part of the Roman Empire, like the Greeks. The Greeks are separate from the Roman Empire, and they were powerful at one time, but then Rome came up.
Right.
Rome just wiped them out, just destroyed the Greeks. And that Roman culture is the culture that exists today. Roman culture is European culture. Roman culture is the culture of our oppressor, of the people of Esau. And they were around in the past, then they're gone, and they come back. The people of Esau keep coming back. The people of Edom keep coming back. And now they're back as the Roman Empire. And they climb out of the bottomless pit and go straight to sin. Go straight to perdition. Keep going.
Kind. And they that dwell on earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
The people, when the Roman Empire is back, They're gone now. The people of Esau that now are represented by Rome. When they come back, the people of the earth will be amazed. That's what it means when it says wonder. They'll be like, wow, look how powerful they are. Look at their military. Wow, they're amazing. Look at the lights on the Christmas tree. Look at their spaceships. How'd you feel when you saw Elon Musk send them people up there in that spaceship? Old Gale put that big tail up there on that spaceship. The tail could barely get on the spaceship. I didn't think the tail would be affected by the anti-gravity. I thought the tail would still weigh her to the planet Earth. The tail was so big, I didn't think it would float. I thought the tail would not float. Come to find out, it floated, huh? I'll tell you. Well,
good night.
Were you amazed when you saw Elon Musk send those people up into the stratosphere? Aren't you amazed when you see the space shuttles and space travel? I mean, don't you go, wow, this is amazing. Computers, AI, it's amazing. Robots, wow. You're amazed, aren't you? It makes you think that these people should decide who you worship. These people should decide what God you choose because you're so shocked by them. But there's a kind of person that will wonder at the power of Rome. The kind of people whose names are not written in the book of life. Somebody who's not important, whose name is, when it says that they're not written in the book of life, meaning they're not going to survive. God is not going to be with them. They're going to be killed in the Third World War. They're not going to make it on the chariots. There's a list of people that God is writing down based on your actions to decide if you're going to make it on the chariots when the chariots come. And just like your grandmother used to say, the chariots are coming. Right. They're coming to carry her home. They're coming. Well, your name is not on that list. And that's why you worship America and Great Britain rather than worshiping your God that your ancestors died over not forsaking. They died to keep the law. You eat pork because everybody else does it. Right. You eat pork because, it's what everyone does. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's why you eat pork, because everyone else eats pork. Well, your name is not written in the book of life, so you're amazed by this whore and this beast.
If I may, sir. So when Rome went into the bottomless pit, or when Esau went into the bottomless pit and then would come back in power, if my memory serves me correctly, is that tying into when Septimius Severus overthrew, and then we were in power for a certain amount of time for that 1,000-year period?
That's why I said they'll come out of the bottomless pit, because they were trapped. For a time, white supremacy, the power of Esau, of Edom, the power that destroyed the Garden of Eden in the body of that man who behaved like a snake, power that destroyed, the power that killed Abel when Cain killed Abel, the power in that brother who killed someone's child. What's his name? Lamech. Lamech was a great grandson of Cain who killed someone's child and knew he would never be punished for it because he was a descendant of Cain. That's the power of Esau, Edom, the power that tried to kill Jacob for taking a birthright that was his by right, because Esau sold his birthright. Esau still wanted to kill his brother Jacob, hated his brother Jacob. That's the power that is gone, and is coming back. White supremacy, the power of Esau, the power that destroyed the Garden of Eden, the power of Cain. It's gone, it dies and it comes back. It dies and it comes back. That's what it does. And now it's back, and it's a Roman now. It's a Roman, and it's controlling the planet Earth from Great Britain, Africa, and the Middle East. Controlling every place. And it's back. For a time, it was imprisoned. White supremacy was imprisoned for the Dark Ages. Dark Ages, you had Queen Isabella. Queen, what's that other queen?
That's Sophia, is it? No.
Sophia, that's who I was talking about.
Okay.
It's Sophia, correct. Sophia. You had King James.
Right.
You had all kinds of kings that were black and Hispanic kings and princes, and they were rising up, and white supremacy was dead. It during that time in Rome, there was no racism in Rome. Black people ruled Rome. Hispanics ruled Rome.
Right.
Servius Septimius, Persinius Niger.
Right.
Persinius Niger, Niger. Rome.
Right.
There wasn't any racism in Rome. White supremacy was gone. It was gone. But then it came back with a vengeance. Came back during the time of the Renaissance with a vengeance. And it's so heavy because it came back and it started with the Roman Catholic Church and with art. That art is a terrible tool against the simple of this world. You know, most people are stupid. Fellow, you're aware of that.
What can I say?
They're not. They don't read. They don't investigate, and they don't know Commandant General Yahanna.
Right.
You know what they do know? You know what they do know? They know what's in the movies.
Right.
They watch movies, and that's it. So whatever they see in the movies is true. Well, it was like that in the Renaissance. What was the prevailing art form in the Renaissance? Paintings.
Right.
People would travel all over Europe and come see a painting in Rome. And that painting had a white man being God.
Right.
And a white Adam touching his finger. And it was the beautiful and the most wonderful painting ever. And it had Adam and Eve, two white people. And it had Moses being white, and all of the people of the Bible were white.
Right.
And people looked at these paintings. Who painted these paintings? The Catholic Church paid Leonardo da Vinci. The Roman Catholic Church paid the best artists of their day to make all of the people white in paintings.
Right.
And after that, everyone believed that the people of the Bible were white. Everyone.
Okay.
And that's all the investigation they needed. For the same reason that you rappers think that you're Scarface, and you know what the problem out there with rap is you watch the music and the TV.
Right.
That's why you're dying. You're dying because some boy listened to a song, and now he's going to shoot everybody because he listened to a song, because he saw a movie. He saw a movie one day. He watched Cooley High. You don't know Cooley High. Cooley High, terrible impact on Los Angeles gang violence. If you want to, go do your research on that. This class is out in California. The movie Cooley High just had a terrible influence on Los Angeles gangs. Horrible influence. That movie Cooley High came out, and they wore rags on their heads, and they had canes. And before you know it, LA gangs just became the movie Cooley High.
Good night.
Seen them in the 70s from just watching the movie Cooley High. And it exploded because everyone in Los Angeles wanted to look like the people in Cooley High. And that's that. They wanted to behave like the people in Cooley High. And that's the effect that artwork had in the Renaissance.
Right.
People saw the paintings. The paintings were of glorious white people, being David, being Moses, being Jesus. Everyone believes that white supremacy is the power, and it's back in power, and then blacks and Hispanics are on the run again.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
Let me get Leonard Jr., the Jesuits. Leonard Jr. asks, who are the Jesuits? The Jesuits are like a military branch of the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church has all kinds of sects. You got Franciscan monks. You have give me the different, even the Pope now, he's what sect is he? He's an Augustine.
Let me see.
I think Augustinian, that's what he is. He's an Augustinian monk. You have Franciscan monks. You got the Knights Templar. You got the Hospitaller Knights, right, of the Crusades. The Catholic Church is broken up into different factions, except all of them worship the Pope as their father. So the Jesuits are a particular branch of priests, and their job is to go into areas where they don't believe in the white Jesus, where they're against the white Jesus. They go into Africa and the Saudi Arabia and the Muslim countries, and they convert people, but they go to dangerous places. They go to dangerous places, and they do terrible things to people to turn people to the love of Jesus. They kill you and cut your tongue out your mouth and kill your wife to get you to realize that Jesus loves you. And that's who the Jesuits are. The Jesuits did terrible things to the so-called North American Indian. Terrible things to them. The Jesuits are the ones that went out and converted the so-called North American Indian by killing them if they didn't cut their hair.
Right.
They did not cut their hair. They forced them to cut their hair. They killed whoever did not cut their hair, and they showed all of them that Jesus loves them by killing them. That's who the Jesuits are, Leonard Jr. All right?
Con.
All right. Anything else?
Con. Revelation 17:8. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
There you go. He's gone, but here he is. He died, but here he is again. This empire fell, but it's back again. Here we are again. And now here we are, all of us celebrating a new pope today. Now here we are today, when Rome was supposed to have fallen, God knows how many years ago, but here we are all looking at Rome and the Vatican, celebrating a new pope because Rome is back again. This is about Rome. Just get your mind there. This is all about Rome. America and Great Britain and France are a branch out of Rome. Okay? But this is about Rome. Go ahead.
Con. Verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom.
Now listen, if you want to know who's smart, who actually is thinking, who actually is wise, this is what he would think. Go ahead.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
You see that? So these heads are mountains. What's a mountain? A mountain is a government. That's what mountains are in the Bible. Like the 7 hills of Rome, the Palatine Hill, Mars Hill, the other hills of Rome that govern the entire country. The mountains represent governments. The mountaintop. That's the government. So these heads are governments. That's what you need. So what are these governments? These governments will take over once Rome, the main government, falls. These are 7 governments. All of these places were at one time Roman provinces. You could probably find this on the internet too. What were the names of France and Germany back when they were Roman provinces? I believe Germany was called Gaul, I believe, or France was called Gaul. I know that London, England was called Londinium. Each one of these, of the European powers, the white European powers at one time, they were Roman states, Roman provinces, and they had different names. They had Latin names.
Right. Okay.
The brothers can find them for you. So those places are Londinium, Gaul. Is that what you have there?
Can I have Gaul for France, and for Germany is Germania.
Germania, that's correct. Germania was a Roman state, a Roman province. Gaul was France. That was Gaul, right? Londinium was England or Great Britain. And it wasn't a country. It was just a part of Rome. But then when Rome fell, when they couldn't keep the red, the white, and the blue together, all of the classes of society stopped working together. Rome fell. These provinces stepped out on their own. They broke off from Rome, and they became governments of their own. And now they're called France, England, Germany, Spain. Spain was another Roman province. Now they're called these places today. Portugal. That was another Roman province. Everyone understands.
Okay. Revelation 17:10. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come.
Here we go. This is more going into how Rome began to fall. 7 kings, 5 are fallen. Go ahead.
1 is, and the other.
Go ahead.
And the other is not yet come.
So all of the 7, right? They begin to cascade. That's how they fell. It didn't fall at once. It took a long time for Rome to stop being a superpower and to become a place splintered into 7 different countries. It started all, remember I told you earlier, it started with Eastern and West. First, the East and the West began to split apart. Then the Western Empire went in and killed everyone in the Eastern Empire during the Fourth Crusade. So 5 of these country city-states, they begin to fall when the East and the West broke up. The last place to fall was the eastern part of the Roman Empire, which is that last one that was still around. That eastern part was Constantinople, which still, it was the last one to fall. Once Constantinople fell, then all the provinces, those 5 provinces that weren't strong enough to break off, they all began to break off, all of them. Once the eastern part of the Roman Empire fell, then all of the rest of them that weren't strong enough to break off, they had to fall back under Roman influence. Rome would fight. Gaul broke off from Rome so many goddamn times, it was ridiculous. Gaul kept breaking off. Gaul would fall, go back to Rome. Then Rome would stop going out there. Rome, it would fall away again. And then finally, Rome stopped trying to force Gaul to be part of Rome, and Gaul was able to stand up on its own. The same thing happened with Germania. They would not become a mountain, a government, because Rome would not let them. And that's what happened with those 5. Rome would not let them. Finally, that last one, which is the eastern part of the Roman Empire, once they fell, then all the 7 now grew up and they broke off from the mother country, Rome.
Go
ahead.
And the other is not yet come.
Oh yeah, keep going.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
And when he comes, he must continue just a little while. What's that one that's continuing just a little while? That's the Roman Catholic Church. And he gonna be around for a little bit. He's gonna be around for a second. The Roman Catholic Church, they ain't been around that long, not comparatively to the other empires of this planet. The Roman Catholic Church,
right.
They've been in power since about the 1700s. That's not that long compared to the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of other countries. But now you're in the time when the Roman Catholic Church is in charge, and he's gonna be in charge a little while, for a little space of time. That's what we're living in right now. The time of the Roman Catholic Church that was not around then, but now he is around. Go ahead.
Verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
That's the Roman Catholic Church, right? And he's the 8th. Why? Because he's part of which head? Italy. He's part of Italy. The Roman Catholic Church, at one time, there was the duchies of Italy. You had places like Venice. You had Milan. You had, where was Leonardo da Vinci from? What was that famous place?
Man, I have to look it up. God,
I forget the names of these places so many times. Famous place. Leonardo da Vinci worked for the duchy. He worked for the ruling class of this country. Famous country. They had the Piazzas or the Pazzis. That was their rule. That was their famous family. I cannot remember the name of this place. It's a rich country in Rome, a rich country in Italy. A duchy is what they call it in Italy. I cannot remember the name of it. It's not Milan. What is it? Read what that says.
Leonardo da Vinci was from Italy. Specifically, he was born near the Tuscan hill town of Vinci, which is located near Florence.
Florence, Italy. The water. Florence. That's the place. Florence. All right. Those are the Italian powers that were around at one time, right? They're gone, but who's in their stead? The Vatican. Now the Vatican is here, right? Vatican is here. Mount Seir, Mount Rushmore, excellent. That's correct, warrior. Now the Vatican, who's the 8th. The Vatican is not part of the 7, but it is part of the 7 because it's part of Italy, which is what that precept is saying. All right.
Okay. Verse 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
1 hour with the beast. What is this speaking about? This is speaking about the countries that will come out of this beast. There are countries that will come out of this beast because they were with the beast. They spent a little time being part of the beast. and they will come out of this beast. One of those countries is America. Right? That's America is one of these countries, one of those 10 horns. Matter of fact, I have the 10 horns right here.
Let
me give you the 10 horns 1 second, Doc, all right?
Yes, sir.
Stand by. Bobbity. Here are the 10 horns. Okay, you ready? The 10 horns are Belgium, right? Belgium comes out of France. They were part of France for an hour. Now they're their own country, Belgium. Then you have, oh God, what's the name of this? Where are the Dutch people from? The Netherlands. The Netherlands, that's part of Luxembourg. And Luxembourg is part of the Netherlands. The Dutch people are people from the Netherlands. So you have the Netherlands, all right? They come out of Germany. They come out of what's that place called? Germania, right? Then you have Sweden. Sweden also comes out of Germany. Then you have Switzerland. Switzerland also comes out of Germany. You have the United States of America. They come out of England, Londinium. Stand by. Then you have Denmark. They come out of Germany. Then you have Ireland. They come out of England. Then you have Australia. They come out of England. And you have Scotland. They come out of England. Those are the 10 horns. All right? Those are 4 countries that come out of countries that came out of the Roman Empire. All right?
If I could, too, I think that's heavy. Seeing, what John saw, he saw a beast as if it had 7 heads. And from the 7 heads, like you kept saying, they come from. And it's just parallel in my mind. All I see is a horn coming from one of the heads of the beast.
That's correct. It's like on this picture you have here. You got the head of the animal, and you have horns coming out the head. Right. So the main head would be like Londinium or England. Right. One of those horns would be America. Right. That's the vision that he saw. Correct.
Revelation 17 and 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
You understand? These have what?
One mind.
They have one mind, Doc. They're together. And they give their power and their strength to this animal. Every European power, they empower the beast. They empower Rome. All of us here we are today, we're still celebrating Saturnalia today.
Right.
Saturnalia is where you get Christmas from. Saturnalia. To this day, we're worshiping the sun god of Rome. Today. Do you understand? Every European country just empowers ancient Rome. They make ancient Rome more powerful, even though it's dead, it's not. Which is exactly what the precept said. It's gone, it was, and is not, and is, and shall be. Even though Rome is gone, here we are, we're still celebrating Saturday to worship Saturn.
Right.
Still worshiping the sun god that was the god that was worshipped in the eastern part of the Roman Empire.
Right.
Still doing it today. We still have the Christmas tree. We're still doing the same things that the Romans do today. Right. We still love pork and ham and pig the way the Romans did it, the way the Romans sold us pork and ham. What does it say? So like you say, they had Mother's Day. Ain't that something? Mother's Day, which was to the goddess Rhea. Yes. Who said that? Malakma Ban Yashakar. Orale. Telling the goddamn truth, sacerdote. You're telling the truth, officer. Yes, here we are, 2025, still worshiping Rhea. Still. All these European countries did is give us the culture of Rome, and we're still following it right now. That's correct.
Okay, sir. Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
These shall do what?
Overcome them.
These shall do what?
Make war with the Lamb.
You understand this? This is what John knew on that island in prison.
Right.
These shall make war with the Lamb. That's why you're in prison, John.
Right.
Because these Roman countries, this Roman Empire, these 7 countries that will come out of Rome, they're going to make war with Jesus Christ.
Right.
They're making war with him. That war is happening right now.
Right.
They're fighting it. They kill Christ afresh in the Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church. It's called character assassination. These Roman these Roman countries, America, Great Britain, France, Germany, they're still killing Christ today by assassinating his character, by saying that he's a white man, by saying that he died so you could break the law. Christ died so you could keep being evil, so you could continue to break the law, which you were breaking before he died. He died so you can keep doing it. That is a character assassination. They're still killing him. They kill him brand new every day. And they're fighting his disciples. Un profete de Dios, a prophet of God. Sacerdotes y oficiales, priests and prophets. They're fighting right now. They're still doing it. Why? Because they're the Roman Empire. That's who you're fighting. When you fight the governments of this world, the governments of Esau, the Spanish conquistador, you're fighting Spain. When you're fighting Spain, you're fighting Rome. That's who you're fighting. When you're a young so-called North American Indian child running because you don't want to cut your hair and give up the God of your ancestors, you're fighting Rome. That's who's cutting your hair. Rome. That's who's trying to kill you. Rome. That's who we're fighting right now. Right now. Continue.
Con.
Someone look up how important was pork eating in the Roman Empire and the pig industry, the pork industry. Big pork. The industrial pig, what's that word? The industrial pig complex, the industrial pork complex. I mean, pork is the lasting remnant of Roman culinary arts, the pig. Like Rome is who pushed that pig, especially the Spanish. That pig was like everything. Everybody had to eat it. It was their biggest industry. Well, you look up right there. I can't see it.
It says the pork industry was a significant importance in the Roman Empire, playing a role in the economy, diet, and even culture.
That's why you have to fight about eating pork right now. That's why you got to battle every day with a Christian who's going to say the law is done away with. Ask him which law is done away with. He's going to say you can eat pork. That's what this whole battle is about. Bacon. Bacon is what this whole thing is about. Have pig, pork chops. I think it's just bacon, really. What's the pig product that they can't give up? I think it's bacon.
Bacon.
Am I right?
Bacon.
Yeah, that's it. This whole battle, we got to fight in the street over bacon. This whole thing is. Read it one more time, please.
Con. The pork industry was of significant importance in the Roman Empire, playing a role in the economy, diet, and culture.
That's what it's always about. It's about money. That's why they're forcing you to eat pork, because the industry can't stand to lose the customers. So they're going to kill you and force you to eat pork simply because they need this for their economy. They need people to buy pigs. They need pigs. They got millions of them sitting in some farm somewhere. They can't have you out there on the street saying, don't eat pork, it's against the law.
Right.
They have to send some stupid idiot out there to say the law is done away with. That was going on in Rome. And it's happening right now today. It's important to their economy. Read that last part after economy.
Con. Let me see here. If you can go back to there we are. Playing a role in the economy, diet, and even culture.
The culture is built around eating pork. It's just so goddamn important to them. That's why it's important today to London and to America and to Germany. That's why it's important today, for the same reason. Because it was important to Rome. Okay, go back to it, Salaki.
Come on, sir. Let me see here. It says Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
Read that last part again.
These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
Can you imagine what comfort that must have been to hear as he was sitting on that prison, trying to scramble together something to eat every day,
right?
Trying to find water. The Lamb shall overcome them. The Lamb is speaking about Jesus Christ. He's the Lamb of God, because he gave his life to show us how to live. He gave his life so we could know how to live. The Lamb is going to overcome the Roman Empire. That's what's going to happen, brother. Going to happen. That prophecy is coming. The Lamb will overcome them. When Jesus Christ was taken, he said, "Now is the prince of this world cast out." That's what he said. And who was the prince of the world he lived in? The Roman Empire. That's who was in charge.
Right.
And when they came, give me that precept. He said, when they came to take him, they grabbed him up to arrest him. And when they had him, he said, "Now is the prince of this world cast out." Before that day, think how many generations of his family had to pay taxes to Rome, be oppressed by the Romans. The Romans come in once a year, every year, and take half of your crops, take everything you own, take it, and you can't do anything about it. All you can do is just suffer and find a way to make a living. Meanwhile, your own leaders are working with the Roman Empire. Your own leaders side with Rome.
Right.
When they took him, he said, "No more." Rome loses today. Go ahead and read it if you have it.
Come on, it's John 12 and 31. Now is the judgment of this world. Now
read the verse above it.
Yes, sir. John 12 and 30. Yahushua answered and said, "This voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out."
Oh, yeah. What world is he talking about? The world of the Roman Empire. World means society. Now the judgment of this society is here. Christ won the battle that day. That day, the Lamb won. Right then. Now, you and I are just waiting to decide whether or not we're going to be part of that winning.
Right.
Because he won when they took him away to be killed. Now, all the rest of history after the death of Jesus Christ and his resurrection is you and I deciding, will we be the ones who are with him? Because he won. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to pick up our cross and follow after him. Who put him on the cross? The Roman Empire.
Right.
Put him on the cross. Everyone understands.
Come.
Okay, go ahead.
For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
I believe I broke that down just now.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
You understand that? So the whore was sitting upon many waters, right? So now he's explaining he explained the beast, the horns, the whore. Now he's explaining the waters. The waters that this whore was sitting on are people, nations, and languages. This whore is controlling every place. And it's water because everything flows from her and flows back into her like water. That's the American economy. That was the Roman economy. Everything. There's an old saying that says all roads lead to Rome.
Right. Right.
Everything flows out of Rome, and all meaning products and goods come into Rome. You know, if you have sheep in Jerusalem, your sheep come to Rome.
Right.
Because Rome makes you pay taxes. So your sheep come to Rome. Your grapes come to Rome. Your potatoes come to Rome. And Rome is sending money out. So all of the goods come in from all over the Roman provinces. And Rome sends money out on those same roads. And if you don't pay your taxes, then money doesn't come to you. Soldiers come to you. soldiers used those same roads that they used for commerce, bringing goods to Rome and sending money out of Rome. If you don't give up those goods, then soldiers are on that same road coming to kill you and your children.
Right.
All the roads lead to Rome was a statement of intimidation. It intimidated people. You understand? That's why it's sitting on water, because it flows in and out. Goods come into Rome. Rome sends everybody money. Because Rome sends everybody money, all the kings of the earth are drunk because they all want the Roman money. They all want to get rich because they're part of Rome.
Right.
Read it one more time.
Yes, sir. Kind. Revelation 17 and 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
You get that? Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. And the 10 horns, kind, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
That's what happened. These 10 horns, they broke off from the Roman Empire with war.
Right.
The Roman Empire would try to kill the people from Germania, right?
Right.
Try to kill Londinium. They would fight. They would go back and forth. Finally, because of war, they broke off from the Roman Empire. Then what happened? Then America went to war with England. Isn't that what happened?
Right.
America fought England, and they broke off from England. Like this whole, the Roman Empire separated because of conflict, because the red, the white, and the blue stopped working together in unity, and they started to kill each other. And that's what you just read about just now. Go ahead.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled.
That's what happened. The Most High God wants Rome to fall. He wants them to break up into first 7 pieces, then into 10 more pieces. He wants them to scatter and shatter through bloodshed and war. Keep going.
Kind. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
What's that great city? That's the capital of Rome, the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, the seat of Rome. All right, now it's the Vatican, where they sit today, which is where they've ruled for God knows for how long.
Kind.
Anything else?
That was the end of 17, sir.
Let me read this. Okay, go to 18. Salakia, sir. This is from Malakma Ban Yashakar. Salakia, sir, is that what the term Rome is burning is talking about? The split of its empire? Well, okay, I believe that the term Rome is burning is specifically about the great fire that happened during the time of Nero Caesar. There was a great fire during the time of Nero Caesar. The brothers can look it up for you, right? Where Rome was on fire, and while Rome was burning, Nero was playing the lute. He was playing the violin the whole time. And so people looked at him like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Rome is burning down, and he's playing the violin because he was a lunatic and crazy like Donald Trump. He was out of his mind. But here's the bad news. Once Rome burned down, and after he got done playing the violin, guess who he blamed the fire on?
Right.
Who knows? You know, Tawabun?
If my memory serves me correctly, the people that believed in Christ.
That's who he blamed the fire on. At the end of the fire, when everybody was angry at him because he didn't do anything to save Rome, he played the flute. He played the damn violin. He said, you know, it's not my fault. It's these believers in Jesus Christ. It's them. They're the one. They're the reason. And then after that fire, they went to persecute the saints even more.
Right.
They went to persecute us more and more and more. And it's how men like James were killed, because Nero is the one that killed James. Because after the fire, then Nero went on a bloodthirsty revenge to kill all of the disciples of Christ because he blamed the fire on them. And you can just look this up in history. Go ahead.
if I may, sir, at that point in time, is that where catacombs became more prominent?
That's when it was on.
Okay.
After that fire, it was on. They were hunting us through the streets. We had to hide. We had to go and do the prayers and speak Hebrew underground.
Good night.
Even the term to this day, underground, from the Roman catacombs, because the believers in Christ who were Israelites had to read Hebrew, face the east, and pray underground. So now even the term underground means, to do it in secret, because at one time Israelites had to go underground to speak Hebrew and to pray to the Most High God. You understand?
Kind of, sir. That was the end of 18, sir. Verse 18.
Okay.
If you will, it's up to you, sir. If you wanted to do 18 still,
I'm with it. You got to tell me when I'm done. I'll go until you tell me to stop.
I'm with it. So I'm all for it, sir. So like it. I just wanted to,
You know what? You better get together those videos about the gold first.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll need the ones to explain how they relate to money today. All right.
Okay. Malakma, you have those we have the videos queued, sir, on your whenever the ones you sent me, whenever you're ready.
Let's start reading Revelations now.
Okay, sir. If I may, if I could just briefly say,
please.
That was excellent, sir. That was, good night.
You're the water warrior. I appreciate you allowing me to come in.
Okay. Revelation 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
So now he already saw that one angel that prophesied to him the fall of Rome, how Rome was split up into 7 countries, then 10 more countries. Then another angel came to him. The Most High was so merciful to John to send him these angels at a time of great need.
Right.
In jail, locked up. So now he's seeing another angel, and this other angel said what to him? Go ahead.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
You hear that? Babylon the Great. Here we are about Babylon again. Right. Babylon is the original superpower of this earth. That original superpower that was headed by a man named King Nimrod. And King Nimrod wanted to unify all the countries of the earth together to fight God.
Right.
He built a tower so he could get his armies into heaven. God destroyed the tower and split up all of their language so they couldn't unify anymore. All right. Now the angel is saying Babylon the Great is falling. Why? Because what happened in Babylon? What happened to that tower? It fell.
Right.
The Tower of Babel fell down. Tower of Babel fell down. So now it's a metaphor for the mighty countries who are attempting to do the same thing that Babylon did. Unified, which is why you have the United Kingdom, the United States, the Euro, which is countries. Countries are always trying to come together for an evil purpose. They're all going to fall.
Right.
Going to fall because their unity isn't done to create good on the earth. The unity is done to control and destroy the earth.
Good night. And is become the habitation of devils.
Yeah, and has become the habitation of demons. That's who lives here. America is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. America comes out of Babylon, which comes out of Rome, which comes out of England. America comes out of Babylon. Okay, it's a daughter that comes out of Babylon.
Right.
And it's become the habitation of demons, of devils, and Great Britain too. Great Britain is another demon, a home of demons. In England, in France, the home of demons. Keep going.
And the hold of every foul spirit.
Now, what does that mean when it says the hold of every? A hold is a cage. That's what a hold is, a cage. Like a holding cell. You've heard that term before, right?
Sir.
Holding cell is a cage. So imagine a cage with just foul, disgusting vultures and animals that eat dead flesh. That's America. What's the metaphor representing? If you're here and if you take on the culture of Great Britain, the culture of France, the culture of Germany and America, you're going to take on LGBT spirit. You're going to take on the spirit of child abuse. You're going to take on the spirit of being a thief, a liar, an abuser of people. That's the spirit that's here. Like if you become like the Romans, if I do as the Romans do, I'm going to hurt a child, brother. I'm going to sexually assault a woman. I'm going to steal from someone that believes I'm their friend. If I take on the culture of this place, I take on a demon, because this is a cage full of demons, full of devils. Go ahead.
And a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
That's what I just broke down. Go ahead.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her.
If I could help you with this, if you're battling a Christian, Thawabun.
Yes, sir.
The book of Revelations, right? And it just mentioned a bird that's unclean, which would mean that the law is, which would mean the law is still in effect to John.
Right.
Because otherwise, to John, there can't be any unclean birds, right?
Right.
Because if John believes in Jesus, then the law is done away with, and there are no unclean birds. But the angel of God is telling John, who was a disciple of Christ himself, this place has become the cage of every unclean bird, which means there are still birds that are unclean after Jesus Christ. Right? So if you wanted to put that in your precept book to cut Christians, please.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
The water, sir. Cut on kind. Let me see. And the hold of every verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
See, when you're poor, you have a different relationship with the police than rich people do. You understand? Like our relationship with the cops is not the same relationship as the rich blacks and Hispanics. Their relationship with the police is different than ours. Right? The kings of this earth, they get rich with Rome. They get rich with America. They're not being killed by the police. You should get that video of Mike Tyson get Mike Tyson at Donald Trump's inauguration on the back of Paul Logan. What's that boxer that whooped him good?
Logan Paul. You should see Mike Tyson at Donald Trump's inauguration, bouncing up and down on his shoulders. Also have Marvin Sapp saying he's going to vote for Donald Trump because he's in a different tax bracket. Do you mind if I give you that as well? I don't mind at all, sir.
You can't find it, the one with Mike Tyson. It's a ridiculous video to see.
Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, if you got it, Malakma, you could there it is. Good night. He has one up, General, with Mike Tyson.
Let me see that. Look at that. Look at that. Can you imagine doing something like that? He's on the shoulders, up, carrying him on his shoulders because Donald Trump won. You see, I'm assuming the Yashakarite. Where's the Yashakarite Sacerdote Oficial right there? Who's working the computer again?
Priest and Officer Malakma.
Priest and Officer Sacerdote Oficial Malakma. Do you see what Mike Tyson is doing right here?
General.
You see, now imagine what your family thought when Donald Trump got elected. He's from the tribe of Yashakar. What did your family think when Donald Trump got elected up?
So if I could, sir, they got fear hit them. They got very afraid.
They were terrified. Our brothers and sisters were terrified because they knew it was coming. They knew it was coming.
Okay.
See, but Mike Tyson has a different relationship with Donald Trump. You see, he's different because he's rich. He's rich. And now here he is sitting on the back of some devil cheering because he's not going to be deported. He's not going to be kicked out of his home that he's been in for most of his life. That's the relationship that Rome had with the kings of this world, the rich of this world. It's different than what it is for you and I in the barrios and the reservations and in the ghettos of this world. It's different. Give me Marvin Sapp saying that he voted for Trump because he's in a higher tax bracket. I had it on my phone, but you brothers might find it quicker.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
Marvin Sapp, the former Buccaneer?
No, Marvin Sapp. Is it Winans? Oh, maybe it's Marvin, the preacher. I think his name is. If not, I'll move on. I think it's Sapp.
Oh, Marvin. I'm thinking Marvin Sapp, the football player.
This looks like the right one. Go ahead,
Crazy.
play it. He looks like a pig.
It's a lot of purple, if I may.
Oh, how did I forget? The water.
You might have to go back, Malakman, and replay it and turn it up a little bit if you could. Baba Kusha.
I'll keep going while he's doing that then, all right?
Okay.
Keep going.
Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and
keep going,
and that ye receive not of her plagues."
That's the voice from God, brother, saying, "Come out of her, my people. Come out of her. Come out of the Roman Empire. Leave her. Leave her." And the come out of her is a metaphor for sex. Remember, this is a whore that everyone is having sex with. And the Lord is saying, come out of her. The same way that you take your penis out of a whore. Because you know you got to stop doing it. I take my penis out of her. Because if I leave my penis in her, what's going to happen? I'm going to partake of her plagues. I'm going to get a venereal disease. The metaphor is a man having sex with a whore and him getting chlamydia.
Oh my God.
Him getting the clap. Him getting syphilis. Because he went into a whore. So now, if you go into a whore, what's going to happen? You're going to partake of her plague. What's her plague? Chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV. So come out of her. Be not partaker of her, because you will partake of her disease, of her plague. That's the metaphor, and that's what happens in America. I know you ready? Go ahead.
Registration, which will be available in the lobby today for anyone who is not registered to vote and desires to let their voice be heard. We are. Let me share something with you, because many times we sit up and we complain about what happens at the president. We have folks talking about Biden is too old.
Can you make it a little louder, Rock?
We got folks talking about Trump and how if he gets in, he's going to, shift the very paradigm of the democracy. So there's so many different conversations that are taking place. But can I tell you something? If you don't believe me, I'm going to tell you this anyway. Fact of the matter is that it does not make a difference who's in the presidency. Now, y'all don't like it, but it's the truth anyway. But where it is important is at the local level. I want y'all to hear it. You fuss about what's happening at the White House, and your problem is what's happening around your house. And because you have the wrong people in position of power, in positions in your local municipalities, in your local communities.
I might have to fast forward if you can't find the part. He's going to tell everyone that he's voting for Trump.
Our conscience. So I want to challenge you all.
You
have never
you can
voted
pause it,
and not
Malakma.
registered to
Well,
vote.
he's going to tell everyone in a minute he's going to vote for Trump because he's in a different tax bracket. You know,
Good
he's
night.
so rich. He doesn't care if Trump destroys the democracy because he's in a different tax bracket. He doesn't care that Trump is going to deport brothers and sisters and destroy their lives. Nah, who cares? What matters is his tax bracket. This is the relationship that the kings of this earth had with Caesar, had with Rome. They get rich, but we get killed. They get rich and we get killed. Continue.
Kind of, sir. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." If I may, General, just real quick, what you said was so heavy about, you know, it's representing how a man, if he deals with a whore, you're going to get the clap. You're going to get a STD of some sort.
Yeah.
For sleeping with that whore.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, you could be the scriptures talk about on the other hand, the marriage and the bridegroom and that whole analogy, the righteous way, like it's amazing.
You're telling the truth. You're absolutely telling the truth. And it's and now you know people catch the clap and chlamydia because all they can think about is the pleasure of sex. They're not thinking about the repercussion. That is the reason so many people take on American, British, Roman culture, because all you can think about is your tax bracket. Is getting more money, is getting more rich, is having more bacon, is getting Christmas gifts. All you can think about is the barbecue that you'll get from celebrating it. All you can think about is the fun of the barbecue, the fun of Christmas morning, the fun of the prostitution, the fun of being rich and getting money from stealing from someone. You don't think about the repercussions. Well, brother, you're going to get burnt. You're going to get burnt. Keep going.
Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
The Most High God is looking at her sin now. Her sin has reached unto heaven. Heaven has the report about what she's doing to the chosen people of God. La Raza, the Latinos, the Hispanos, the tribe of Gad, the so-called Negro, the Haitians, I.S.U.P.K. The Lord has seen what she's done, and she's going to pay. Now here you are with her. You're inside her. You're getting pleasure from her. You're going to die with her. Continue.
Heavy. And God hath remembered her iniquities.
You get that? Why did it say remember? Because she's done so much. She's done so much. She killed James.
Right.
She crucified Jesus Christ. She put John on an island to die in prison. She killed all the disciples of Christ and the prophets of God. She corrupted Jerusalem with her money and riches and pleasures. She did it. She destroyed the children of God in slavery. And she started to call herself the Spanish and call herself the British. She shot her brothers dead in the streets last night. Continue.
Kind. Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you.
That's it. That's what the angel said. Reward her even as she has rewarded you. She's going to get what she gave, brother. That's called justice.
Right.
She's going to get what she gave. The book of Revelation says, he that leadeth into captivity.
Right.
Shall go into captivity. You're going to get slaves. Our oppressor, the Roman Empire, their future is slavery. They're going to be thrown in prisons. They're going to be punished for their crimes. They're going to be enslaved. They're going to be forced to give up their gods and worship the one true living God of Israel.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen to them. Continue.
And double unto her, double according to her works.
Oh, listen, she ain't just going to get what she gave. She's going to get double what she gave.
Right.
There shall be no more remaining of the house of Esau. They're going to be gone. There'll be no more of them. That's going to happen. That's what she deserves.
Right.
Keep going.
And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double.
Think about how much she made us drink of that cup.
Right.
Well, she's going to drink 2 cups of it. She's going to get twice the oppression, twice the degradation, twice the misery and hopelessness, twice the genocide. She's going to get it.
Okay. Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Look, she's the most pretty girl in the party, full of purple and gold. She's so glorious. She glorified herself so much. I mean, they're so wonderful. They're so powerful, and she has lived delicious.
Right. Oh, you started to break up a little bit.
Yeah, there's some sound that came up in the background. Now it's gone. Living deliciously just means she lived rich. She was rich while we were so poor.
Okay. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow.
You're saying that's what she says in her heart. She says, I sit. When it says sit, that means she's ruling. She's sitting on a throne. She sits a queen. She's in charge. She's not a widow. She's fully protected. And no one can harm her. She thinks she's impenetrable. She thinks that no one can touch her. She's wrong. One day, our oppressor, who thought he was God, who thought he was Saturn, who thought he was Augusta, who thought he was Mercury, one day he's going to find out that he's just a man.
Right.
That day is coming. Continue.
Okay. Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Therefore, her plagues are going to come in one day. What does one day mean? It's coming quick. Just in one day, and she will be utterly burnt with fire. What is that prophecy about? The Third World War. And we're at the door right now. We're at the door of what John in this island prayed for every night. What the angel comforted him with is that his enemy would burn.
If I may, you may it's I think it's a technical issue from you might have to leave out and come back in.
Oh, really?
It's you're coming through a little choppy.
I'm choppy. Testing 1, 2. Still choppy?
Sir.
It sounds better now.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, let me know, all right?
Yes, sir. Slack you as well.
Did you not hear what I said just now?
No, I did, but in certain parts it was a little choppy, but it's better now.
Okay, let me know, all right? So what?
Yes, sir.
I'll keep going then. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Yeah, the Most High, America, Great Britain, France, the European powers that come out of the Roman Empire, their judgment is here. John was comforted by this news. John waited a long time for this, man.
Right.
This is for his brother James.
Right.
This is for his King Jesus Christ.
Right.
This is for them. Justice is finally here. The Third World War. We're at the door of it right now. We're at the beginning of what John saw in a vision. The burning of his oppressor, the burning of the rebirth of the Roman Empire, the end, the final end of the Roman Empire that dies and comes back. This is the final time that Rome will rule. And John prayed for this. And he should get his justice, brother. Keep going.
If I could too, General, you mentioned it earlier that in place of John's name in certain instances in the scriptures, instead it will say the disciple who Christ loved. And hearing how much hope this would give John on the Isle of Patmos, in prison, this is just confirming the love that he had for John.
That's right.
It's heavy.
Well said.
Okay. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
This is what you have to understand. That's why I wanted you to see the Marvin Sapp video and the Mike Tyson video, because there are rich people that when America is finally destroyed, when Great Britain is finally destroyed, people are going to cry because every country on the planet gets rich because of America. Every country. Like you and I will be so happy because we'll be on the chariots of God, safe and protected. But when the Third World War begins, people aren't going to think finally we have freedom. They're going to think, oh my God, this is our number one customer. This is how we get rich, which is what trade is all about. And these tariffs that Donald Trump is doing, which is why he's so stupid, because the tariffs are stupid, because America controls the world because there are no tariffs. America controls the world because of free trade. Goods come into America, money goes out, which means that America's money is every country's money. Every country's. America doesn't need factories here. America needs factories in China. The shoes come to America. America sends China money. Because it's China, you don't need to send them much money. Every country needs America's money, which is what the devil was trying to do when intelligent devils were in charge of America. But now there's an idiot over America, and Donald Trump is going to aid in the destruction of America. He's going to help this place to get destroyed because he's a retarded man, because he's an idiot. Not to offend any brothers out there with learning disabilities, but Donald Trump is the old school retarded, meaning on purpose stupid. Stupid not by a disability, but stupid because he chooses to be dumb.
Right.
He thinks being dumb is masculine, is strong. I'll explain this later, but you need this because this is important, that the countries are going to mourn America. They're going to be sad for America because they get rich with America. Keep going.
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
They're going to say, alas, alas, oh my God, look what happened. That great city Babylon. In 1 hour is your judgment come. They're going to cry because they get rich because they send goods to America and America sends them her money. This precept is speaking about America because now America is Babylon. America is Rome. America sits in the seat of power and thinks that no one can harm her. Keep going.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
No man does what?
Buyeth their merchandise anymore.
That's how the devil set it up. America doesn't make merchandise. America buys merchandise. America doesn't have factories that make things. America buys things from other countries. It's saying it right here.
Right.
This is trade. America is not supposed to have factories. America is supposed to have money. America prints monies. China, India have factories. And that's why these countries are going to cry, because these countries make everything that America buys. That's the world we live in right now. Donald Trump is making America poor because he's an idiot. But the devil set this country up to take goods from other countries, to take goods from other places. Read that last part again.
And for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
You understand? America buys the goods from other places. That's why these other places are going to cry when they see America burn. If you don't think this is talking about America, let me give you the absolute proof right now. It just said that these countries are going to cry because now no one can buy our goods. It said countries are far off. To mourn because now if America is burning, who will buy our goods. America sends out money. China, India, Canada, Mexico send goods to America. That's how America got rich. And that's why these countries are going to scream and cry when America burns. I'm going to prove it to you that this precept is speaking about America right now. Give me the video. Let me first show you this. Show me piles of gold. You might have seen. Have you ever seen an Indiana Jones movie before, Rock?
Absolutely, sir. Okay.
So, Malak, you seen it before? Is that his name?
Malakma.
Kawakan, sir.
So, okay, there's 1,000 movies, 1,000 books like Treasure Island and other books like that, where some treasure hunter goes to a country and he digs up some old treasure box from 200 years ago. And what does he find? Show me the picture of the gold. Whatever you have. He finds an old box filled with gold. It's really in your mind of what a treasure is. Your treasure is a giant golden box, because countries all over the globe would have this. They would, a long time ago, they would just have gold boxes. I said, this is not the one I sent you. I sent you another one. That's an actual treasure box that people found. Maybe a ship goes down or shipwrecked or something like that. Is the videos that I sent you.
Oh, it's a video.
I'm sorry, it's a picture. My apologies. A picture I sent you. I just sent you pictures of treasure, of old treasure boxes that people would find. People would go on a treasure hunt. That's because a long time ago, countries would keep giant gold boxes, and because everyone accepted gold. So Spain, you would find a big box of gold from Spain, a big box of gold from England, because that is how countries did business. Everyone did trade with gold. And so you might go on a treasure hunt and you might be able to find sunken treasure, a big box of gold. Sunken treasure, a big box of gold. This is all right. Let me pass on from that, all right? When America invaded Iraq, that's one of the pictures I sent you, right? That's what you could find. You might go searching for one of those, right? Because every country would have that. Every country, Spain had gold, England had gold. So you might be able to go find that somewhere, right? If you went hunting for it, it might have been there 200 years. In 2003, America invaded Iraq, right? I think it was 2003.
2000.
They invaded Iraq. When they got into Iraq, they went into Iraq treasure chests, rooms that Saddam Hussein had in a basement. And in these vaults, this is what they found. Show me what they found in Iraq. Is what I sent you.
Do you have it's the video, one of the videos I sent you, Malakma?
Yeah, I believe it's a picture, I think.
Oh, it's a picture? It's like I don't think I got that one. So
you don't have that one? Hold on. I'll give it to you. Stand by.
Okay.
You got the videos I sent you, right? Well, just hang on. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
When they broke into Saddam Hussein's vaults, Saddam Hussein had millions of US dollars. That's what he had. He didn't have gold. He had millions. That's a different one. That's gold right there that they converted into dollars. I sent you a video of him with money. All right. It's all right if you can't find it. It's fine.
Okay.
But you do have it. I sent it to you. When they broke into Saddam Hussein's vault, he was converting gold into US dollars. And he had $100 bills, about millions and millions of dollars of $100 bills. And when they went into Afghanistan, when they went and toppled the Taliban, they go into a cave and they find boxes of millions of dollars in a cave in Afghanistan. Millions of dollars. Because the American dollar has replaced gold for being the universal currency of the planet. Now, I don't know if you quite understand it, but try to wrap your head around it. In your mind, it's like gold is what you want if you're in France, if you're in England. If you're in England, you want United States dollars. If you're in Iraq, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, you don't want gold. You want to turn your gold into United States dollars, because the United States is the world's money. It's the currency of the world. That's what happened. That means it's the beast we're talking about in Revelations 18. That's why all the merchants of the world are going to cry, because now when America is gone, no one will buy their goods. Every country uses the US dollar as their reserve currency. I'm going to explain it to you right now with about 3 videos. You have it?
Kind.
Go ahead.
Let me see here. If you could pull up one of those videos, Malakma. If you start from the beginning, Baba Kusha. The water.
80 years, our money has become the most powerful currency in the world because it's what's known as the reserve currency. This refers to money that's commonly accepted throughout the global economy. And since 1945, the US dollar has taken that top place because of its resiliency, lack of volatility, and safety. So when you have dozens of countries all around the world trading goods and services with one another, it helps to use one universal currency accepted around.
Do you see? Pause.
Value.
Put that back up on the screen. Put that back up on that. Rewind a little.
Accepted around the world.
Stop. Rewind.
The world with predictable value to conduct currency accepted around.
Stop. Do you see what they're using right there? Okay, what's the image they're using, Thawaban?
I see ships, and it looks like boxes or chests.
Yeah, they're using a whore that sits on many waters.
Oh my goodness.
They're using everything flowing into America. They're using goods flowing in, money flowing out. This is the metaphor in Revelations. It's right here.
Right.
Is that all the countries of the world bring goods into her? Read it again.
Kind. And Revelation, going back to 17.
Yeah, 18, I believe we're in now.
18. Oh, so like it. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Let me see here.
It's right above it. Read the one right above that.
Kind. Standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for 1 hour thy judgment is come.
Keep going.
Up a verse?
No, keep going down.
Okay, kind of so like it.
Put the image back on the screen if you could.
Kind of. Verse 10, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
This scripture was written 2,000 years ago. And this is happening right now. All of these merchants coming to this whore that sits on the water, flowing goods into her, money coming out of her. This is why they're going to cry. Because the American dollar is the global reserve dollar, meaning countries don't have vaults full of gold anymore. They don't have a chest full of gold pieces. They have a chest full of US currency, $100 bills, because America's dollar is the global dollar.
Right.
It's the money for every country. I'm going to play it one more time. I'm going to play you 2 more videos, and this will explain it. Make it louder, please.
And if I may, General, I think it's pretty appropriate that they're using the Dutch, which was one of the 7 of.
That's correct.
Right. That's heavy.
That's correct. One of the Netherlands. That's correct.
The Netherlands, right.
The last
Go ahead.
80 years.
As far as the volume, sir, I'm not sure if we could get it much louder. I don't know what
okay, if it's loud for you, maybe it's just me. Maybe mine is low. Go ahead.
Okay.
Our money has become the most powerful currency in the world because it's what's known as the reserve currency. This refers to money that's commonly accepted throughout the global economy. And since 1945, the US dollar has taken that top place because of its resiliency, lack of volatility, and safety. So when you have dozens of countries all around the world trading goods and services with one another, it helps to use one universal currency accepted around the world with a predictable value to conduct those transactions in. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting paid in one currency that could be difficult to exchange. And by the time you're able to convert it back to your native currency, the value may have risen or fallen. Of course, the United States benefits from this as well, because the more countries hold the US dollar, the more demand there is for the US dollar. The more countries lend the United States their money, and the more buying power we have throughout the rest of the world.
That's the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter. That's it. That's the whore that sits upon many waters, countries, people, multitudes, and languages. That's the merchants crying because America is burning. Play the next video.
Okay.
America's money is the money of the planet. Keep going.
The Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the world reserve currency, which meant that in the agreement, which gave the United States a distinct financial advantage, was made under the condition that those dollars would remain redeemable for gold at a consistent rate of $35 per ounce. The United States promised not to print very much money, but this was on the honor system, because the Federal Reserve refused to allow any audits or supervision of its printing presses. It was printing far more money than it had in gold. And for the rest of the world who would entrust the United States with their gold, it was outright theft. This was the birth of the petrodollar. Paper went out, everything America needed came in, and the United States got very, very rich as a result.
What was the name of that law? It was an agreement. It was in the beginning of it. You should get the name so you can go research it for yourself. What's the name of it?
1945, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the
Bretton
dollar.
Woods. Stop. The Bretton Woods Agreement. That's when that agreement happened. That's when America came together with all of the gasoline companies and decided that they weren't going to trade. India wasn't going to trade with China anymore. And then they have to switch from Indian money to Chinese money. They would just both use American money. Why? Because they believe that America will never fall. The American economy will never go down. So as opposed to using their money could fall. Their money could lose value. But everyone believes that American money will never lose value. So they'll say from now on, American money is worth, 35, pieces of gold or whatever, and it's never going to change. Never. Everybody trusts it. They believe it. So China and Japan don't use their own money to do business with each other. They use the American money because it is gold. It's the most stable thing on the planet. It's the government. It's what every government uses to do trade with each other. And it's happened after the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1941. Play the last video.
Okay.
Why? Hey, buddy, John Duncan here. Now, as most of you are probably aware, America has the unique distinction of having the reserve currency. So they can actually print dollars and spend them all over the world and aren't that concerned about racking up debt because it's in their own currency, which they have a printing press, essentially, that they can access as many dollars as they want because it's not backed by anything. But how can they do that? Why?
So you understand? So this is the book of Revelations 18. America can just print more money, send it to a country, and get more of their shoes, their oil, their gas, their appliances. And if they need more money, they print it. And every country just sends them their goods. This is the book of Revelations. They are going to cry because when they see America burn, they're going to say, who will buy our merchandise now? Because we sell everything to America. America's dollar is the global reserve dollar. That's another term you should look up to understand the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter. Keep going.
Why does it work for America for right now? Well, back in 1971, when President Nixon took us off of the gold standard, before that, he had actually negotiated with OPEC, who controlled the oil. And they came to an agreement that for protection, OPEC would force all of the other countries to trade oil in American dollars.
Stop. So now they had the Bretton Woods Agreement in 41. In 71, they went to OPEC. OPEC is who everyone buys gasoline from. And OPEC, and they made a deal. OPEC said now China has to pay for gasoline in US dollars.
Good night.
India has to pay for gasoline in US dollars. Russia doesn't usually buy from OPEC. They buy from someone else. But if Russia buys gasoline from OPEC, OPEC doesn't take Russian money. OPEC doesn't take British money. OPEC doesn't take Mexican, Venezuelan money. OPEC takes American dollars. They don't take anything else. So now what did that do? It meant that every country's money is America's money. Every country. What are they going to do when America is burning? They're going to cry. Because every economy in the planet Earth depends upon America. Every last one. Keep playing the video. I think there's a little more.
Salaki, General, that was it.
Please, no sweat. Go back to Revelations to what?
Come
So you
on.
need the Bretton Woods Act, and then the OPEC agreement with Richard Nixon of 1971, when money stopped representing a certain amount of gold. American money represents America. That's it.
Right.
It's America. You don't believe it'll fall. You don't believe it'll ever be poor, and you can't buy gasoline without it if you're from another country. Continue.
Come on. Revelation 18 and 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and thyon wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and of iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find it no more at all.
At all of these merchants send these things to America. Everything you can imagine is coming into America. And when it's burning, then they don't get any more goods. They don't get any more of the things that your soul lust is after. They don't get the souls of men because they don't get the goods anymore. They don't get them anymore because now they're on fire, because they enslaved the children of Israel and treated them with great dishonor. And now they're going to get doubly dishonored. Continue.
Verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple.
And clothed in what again?
Purple, fine
Clothed,
linen.
what color did they wear?
Purple.
Clothed in purple, just like Rome, just like the rich of Rome, just like the Catholic Church, just like the IUIC. Clothed in purple. They wore so much purple. They were so rich. Now they're on fire. Now they're firewood. How do you say firewood in Spanish, Malakma? Is he there?
Salaki, sir. Firewood. Salaki, I grew up more Spanglish, but it would be madera de fuego.
I like it just like that. Just like that. Say it again.
Madera de fuego.
Madera. Huh?
Madera.
Madera.
De fuego.
Madera. Say it again.
Madera de fuego.
Da fuego. And what is that? What's the direct translation of that word?
So firewood, sir, like or wood of fire.
Wood of fire. Madera de fuego.
Concert.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay, Salaki. So the actual like Spanish translation is leña.
Leña, but is that how Issachar speaks? I don't want the Spanish from Spain. What's the name of this? What's the name of the slang that Issachar speaks? I used to know the name of it. Not machega. The name of the Mexican slang.
That Salaki. So I don't know since I grew up here in the States.
Say again.
Salaki, because I grew up here more in the States. Like I never really learned that slang. I mean, I know the Spanish is Castellano, what they call it out there in Mexico.
That's it. Castellano. Castellano is the word I knew. Castellano.
Okay,
I want to speak Castellano. That's the one I want. So how do I say it in Castellano?
I believe. Let me see. Salakia.
It's all right. You tell me later if you got it.
Yeah, I know the brother.
Like the word fire. I like to call people firewood if I could in Spanish.
Leña.
Leña. Is that right?
Concert.
Leña. Okay, that's Castellano. Leña. Well, listen, America is leña.
Right.
Okay, and they're going to cry.
Yeah.
They're going to scream and cry because America's money is the world's money. And that's not an exaggeration. That's literal. That's a literal law, a literal act that was passed in 1941, 1971. Go ahead.
Count, sir.
Bretton Woods Act. The Bretton Woods Act. Keep going.
Count. Verse 17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught.
That's it. In 1 hour, all that money's come to nothing. In 1 hour. Go ahead.
And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off.
Think about all those ships and all those crates down there at the Long Beach port. What's the port you got down there? Is it Long Beach? Those ports, you got ports down there in California. I believe Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Yeah, that's the big port down there. Think about all those shipping containers coming from all over the world. Well, the people that send those goods to Long Beach port are going to cry. They're going to be sitting there staring at America's smoke, crying. Keep going.
Count. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
Oh, what city is like America? How could America fall? We thought it would never fall. That's why we made it our global currency, because we thought it would never fall. We thought it would go on forever. And now look at it. In 1 hour, it's leña. Keep going.
Verse 19, Khan. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate.
They're going to throw ashes on their head, brother, like their best friend died.
Right.
Because everyone sells everything to America. That's it. And they're going to cry like their best friend died.
Good night.
Keep going.
Khan. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets.
That's it. But us, we're going to rejoice.
Most High
as holy apostles. We're going to rejoice over her. We're not going to cry. We're going to be happy because finally John has received justice on that island. John, who spent the rest of his life on that island, who mourned his brother's death and his king's death, he's going to receive justice, brother. Finally. Keep going.
Khan. For God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel.
God hath done what?
Avenged you on her.
Yeah. That's why America is not getting destroyed because God is cruel. America is getting destroyed because God is giving the poor and the weak justice who couldn't defend themselves, who had no protection. And they've been doing this for thousands of years. It's justice, it's kindness to the victims, to the so-called North American Indian, to the so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Venezuelans, Nicaraguans. They've been waiting for this. John was waiting for this.
Right.
It's justice. Keep going.
Khan. And verse 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
That's what's going to happen. That's going to be the end of America, violence. And so the angel picked up something, a big stone, big as a millstone. He throws it into the ocean to signify that violence is going to bring down this whore. Violence is going to bring down this whore that made everyone else drink, that got everyone else rich and destroyed the saints of God. Violence is how she's destroyed. That great day of violence is the coming of Jesus Christ, is the invasion that's going to happen in America. America is going to be invaded by the supernatural powers of God. Those supernatural powers are the defenders of John, the defenders of James, the defenders of Jesus Christ, and the victims who had no defense finally have God to defend them. Continue.
Verse 22. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and of trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Oh, all your singing, all your music. Oh, you're having a ball over here, aren't you? You got the American Music Awards,
right,
the Grammys, all of your music. You think, you know, all these celebrations that you have will make everybody forget about the people you killed. It won't. It won't. There's going to be no more music soon. None.
Right.
There'll be no more singing, no more bands, no more rap, no more R&B, no more opera, no more country music, nothing. There'll finally be some silence over here. Now we can mourn our dead, finally. Continue.
And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be.
Yeah, I don't care what you do. You're a welder, you're a computer technician, you're a lawyer. That's all over. There'll be no crafts. There'll be no work. There'll be no way to make money here. None. I don't care what you do for a living. It stops. It's over. Continue.
He shall be found, what's like it? Of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee.
You won't hear anybody grind in the mill to make bread, you know, to make food. That's over too. Everything is done here. All you've done is devote yourself to making money since you were the Roman Empire. And you've made it. Now, every country on the planet uses American money as their own money. They have to do it. No more making money. You're done making money. You're not making money anymore. You're going to be quiet now. Now we're going to mourn our dead, finally. Continue.
Yes, sir. Verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee.
There ain't going to be one light on. Nothing. Nothing. We're going to quiet this land by the power of the Lord. Finally get some quiet. Finally. They made electricity. That was the worst thing that could have happened to the slave. The slave that had to work from can't see to can't see. That was what slaves used to work. The tribe of Judah said that, yeah. We had to work from can't see to can't see, which means you had to work early in the morning when it was dark, and you had to stop working when the sun went down. But then the bastard invented electricity. Now, when do you stop working? Never. You work forever, because the minute it gets dark, he turns the goddamn lights on. Listen, no more of that. No more lights. That's over. There won't be a candle that's lit so you can force somebody to work at night. No more. Keep going.
And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Oh, people celebrating, you bitches out there that want those wedding ceremonies. All you care about is wearing a white dress while you got 10 kids and 10 baby daddies. The nigga still has to go put you in a white dress and spend $20,000 on a wedding ceremony while the children is coming down the aisle with you. Let me help you out with something. If the children walk the aisle with you, don't have a wedding ceremony. Don't do that, because the children are coming down the aisle with your nasty ass. You're wearing a white dress and getting married for the third time, and the people coming down the aisle with you is 10 kids with 10 different baby daddies. You're still having a ceremony. You're still wearing a white dress. Why don't you stop? Why don't you stop celebrating everything and focus more on finally staying with this one? Why don't you just stay with this one? Well, no more of those stupid wedding ceremonies that all you care about. That's over. Right. No more of that either. No more bride, groom, and bride giving themselves away. We're going to get serious now and mourn our dead. Continue.
verse 24. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Verse 23, the latter of 23. For thy merchants were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
Oh, yeah. Thy merchants are the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery was everyone deceived. What's your sorcery? You tricking everyone into thinking that America would never fall. That's your sorcery. You don't need gold anymore. Forget gold. The American dollar is stronger than gold. We're never going to end. We'll never be weak. Our military can defend anyone that is doing business with us. That's their sorcery. That American confidence, which got Donald Trump elected, that Top Gun, that nobody can defeat me, nobody can challenge me, that is sorcery. Everyone believes that. Everyone believes that America cannot be taken down. Well, the Most High God rose America up so he could show his strength in destroying her.
Right.
The sorcery that America has is making everyone believe that it will never end. And people believe it so much that they give up their own money and they accept American money as being the global currency of the planet because they believe their own country might struggle, but America will never struggle. That's sorcery. That's a lie. That's a lie. Continue.
Khan, last verse, verse 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
You see, no one cares about how America, Rome, Babylon, Great Britain, Esau has killed the prophets of God, has killed repentant Israelites because America is so rich. But you're going to cry one day because the whore that made you rich will do no more business.
Right.
Her time is up.
Right.
And now we're going to mourn our dead and rebuild this planet and turn this world into a better place.
Right.
Pray you understand.
Khan.
Was there anything else?
If I may, sir, I just want to read one scripture and say one thing, if I may. You know, for the last, I was just talking to Malakma when the class first started, or the lesson. We started this in March of 23. That's when I started calling you a lot more Salakia. Getting the understanding of the book of Revelation verse for verse and putting it out there. And from 1 to the end of 18, now going on 19, all of the visions, all of the this represents this and that, like all of that is powerful and amazing and very meaningful. But it dawned on me the heaviest thing of all the mysteries and all of the everything being revealed, the heaviest thing to me is how this gave John hope even when he was in hell. And going over it now, because we're in hell, it gives me hope. It gives us hope.
Me too.
And that is, I think, now reading the book of Revelation, I don't read it like at first coming into it, to be completely honest and transparent. My mind was like, if I showed you my notes would be verse 1 or chapter 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 representing the verses, and then it would be this represents this. But now I look at it as like, wow, like this is giving me hope that this man is going down, because John saw it, because in chapter 1, verse 1, God gave him to his son to give him to John to give it to his servants.
Yeah,
roughly paraphrasing, and that's, I just want to say the water to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for giving Commander Yahanna the spirit to hold on to this truth, and so we can have it. I just want to give it up.
Well said. Bien dicho. Bien dicho. Well said, Gad. Well said, brother.
Okay.
And once again, gracias por tu tenerme en su clase. Thank you for inviting me into your class tonight, brother. I appreciate it. Salaga for the brother who teaches the usual class at this time. My apologies. Don't sweat it, warrior. I appreciate you allowing me to do the class. If you need me for anything else, please give me a call. I can't wait to get out there to the West Coast anyway. When is your barbecue out there?
October, sir.
Oh,
In October.
man, I'll be out there. I love coming out there. Something
Okay.
terrible.
Yeah.
I'll be out there with Commander General Yahanna's permission, man. I'll be out there to help out as much as I can. Anything I might be able to do out there in the West Coast during that barbecue week. All right.
Yes, sir. Kind of, sir. The water again, General.
Right. Gracias, Malakma. All right.
Hey, the water, General. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh Shai te bendiga, General. And wanted to answer
Please.
that, yeah, it's leña. In Castellano, the translation is leña.
Leña. I got it. Leña. And that's spelled Lenia.
No, Lena. It's the end with the end with the mark on top.
I know. Got you. Leña, firewood.
Cancer.
Gracias, oficial. Gracias.
Guarda usted, General.
Gracias. Ahora el nombre de Yahweh Shai te bendiga.
Okay.
If
I may,
please.
Want me to call her, sir? Is that okay?
Please.
Okay. Allah Panya. Barak. Yahweh
Shem Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Shai Barakatah. Gracias, amigo. Gracias.
Class dismissed.
All right, be safe, Akim. You need anything, give me a call. Yamame. All right. All right,
General.
Sí, gracias. Órale.
Christ. You could end it now, Black one.